Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics. And we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight, that time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marmion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. We broadcast sporting events for people of all ages, including adult leagues, high school leagues, and kids. Complete with professional-looking graphics, broadcasters, color analysis, and commercials. We do pre- and post-game interviews with the players. In addition, Sports Broadcast Solutions does highlight films, including college recruiting reels, highlight films you'd see on sports news programs, and just simply highlight films for fun. Sports Broadcast Solutions also provides raw footage and live streams if you'd like. Subscribe to us and listen to our professional talk videos about relevant topics in the pro and college ranks. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, contact us at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital world.
My name is Mary Ellen Schneider, and I'm the Fine Arts Department Chair at St. Ignatius. I'm proud to say that we probably have at least 50% of the student body involved in one of the visual or performing arts throughout their career here. It's important for the students to be involved in the arts here because they learn something that they can enjoy for a lifetime. There's no cap on how old you can be to be a musician or a visual artist and create. Our talented students are very creative. Beautiful things are displayed around the school. They also get very excited about productions and concerts, performing for others. And there's so many options for you and so much for you to have fun with. I love being department chair because it's exciting to be able to lead a group of other artists and to see them be able to be involved in the arts. Sometimes at the high school level, it becomes very selective. We have so many things here that are inclusive of students at all levels.
The first Super Bowl was held at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum on January 15, 1967. Since then, there have been 55 Super Bowls, but 4 teams have yet to appear in a Super Bowl. Let's take a closer look at those 4 aforementioned teams. One of those teams to have never played in the Super Bowl are the Houston Texans. That may be a bad mark on the records for the Texans, but we can still cut them some slack because they are a relatively new team. The Texans did not hit the turf until 2002 when they joined the NFL. Therefore, the Texans have had fewer opportunities to make it to the Super Bowl since they've only been part of the NFL for 20 years. To put this in perspective, teams such as the Washington Commanders and the Miami Dolphins have not played in the Super Bowl since before 2002 when the Texans joined. The last time Washington made an appearance on Super Bowl Sunday was in the calendar year of 1992, and for Miami it was 1985. So while the Texans have never played in the Super Bowl, it just shows the average football fan how hard it is for any franchise to play in the NFL championship game. In fact, the Texans are the newest team to join the National Football League, which brings hope to Texans fans that maybe it will just be a matter of time before the Texans are removed from the list of teams to have never played in the Super Bowl. That being said, the Texans have been around enough to create some headache for their local fan base. Houston is one of those weird franchises who have never won a road playoff game during their brief 20 years of existence. Even worse, they've never played in the AFC Championship game. The closest that the Texans ever got to a Super Bowl was quite possibly during the 2019 postseason. Houston led 24-0 during the divisional round against the Kansas City Chiefs, but Bill O'Brien's Texans folded up quicker than a poker player without a single pair of cards. Incredibly, the Chiefs outscored the Texans 51-7 the rest of the game, en route to an incredible blowout win at Arrowhead Stadium. On a side note, the Texans are one of the few franchises to win a playoff game with their third-string quarterback. T.J. Yates, a rookie, became the starter down the stretch during the 2011 regular season, when starter Matt Schaub and backup Matt Leinart both ended up on the season-ending injured list. Yates won his first ever playoff start during the wildcard round at Reliant Stadium, but he lost on the road the following weekend to the Baltimore Ravens. But playoff disappointments are nothing new to Texans fans, and they've been dominated by the opposition their fair share of times during the playoffs. The worst such occasion was in 2016, when the Texans got blown out 30-0 at home. That time around, Alex Smith was the starter in KC. The Texans are winless, of course, during the divisional playoffs, with their only close defeat in round 2 coming at the hands of the Texans. Another team on the list of 0 Super Bowl appearances is the Cleveland Browns. Since they don't have the excuse of being a new team, why haven't they played in a Super Bowl? They may not have made it to a Super Bowl yet, but looking back on their history shows they've at least come close to the Super Bowl several times. Technically speaking, the Baltimore Ravens were formerly known as the Cleveland Browns. The Ravens have won 2 Super Bowls since leaving Lake Erie, while both versions of the Browns have yet to make it to Super Bowl Sunday. The new version of the Cleveland Browns began operations in 1999. In 1968, the Browns defeated the Dallas Cowboys, which enabled them to move up to the conference championship game and play the Baltimore Colts. The Browns were defeated soundly in the championship game by Baltimore 34-zip, but making it to the championship game is an accomplishment itself, as it's just one step away from the Super Bowl, and Cleveland proved that 1968 was no fluke when it came to their assortment of talented gridiron stars. The following year in 1969, the Browns made it to a championship game once again. Just like the previous year, the Browns eliminated the Cowboys during the playoffs. The pattern continued, though, in a bad way, as the Browns had a significant loss in the conference championship game. This time around, the score was 51-3, and they lost to the Vikings. If NFL fans recall, the Vikings were once known as the Purple People Eaters during the late 1960s and early 1970s. The Vikes were a formidable foe against the Browns that day, but a 51-3 beatdown is certainly not what Browns fans expected when they watched their favorite football team play on the big screen. Ever since 1969, the Denver Broncos appear to have become the Browns' bad luck charm. The Browns made it all the way to the AFC Championship game 3 times during the 1986, 1987, and 1989 seasons. However, in all 3 of those years, the Browns lost against the Broncos in the AFC Championship. In 1986, the Browns lost to the Broncos in overtime by a final score of 23-20. A 33-yard field goal by the Broncos was the tiebreaker in overtime. With a mindset of the glass half full, the Browns were just 1 field goal away from making it to the Super Bowl. But that game-winning field goal by the Broncos at the Cleveland sometimes gets the bad nickname of the mistake on the lake, and the famous YouTube parody commercial of Cleveland is kinda true. Ask any local of the 216 area code, and they'll tell you that Cleveland is not exactly Miami. And if you like professional sports teams, Clevelanders will tell you to avoid watching the Browns at all costs. Not only did Denver win all 3 AFC Championship games against Cleveland, but they won in the most unbelievable line. Cleveland led 20-13 with 5 minutes and 32 seconds left. Elway, this has been known forever in NFL lore as The Drive. Browns again lost to the Broncos the following season in a you simply can't make this up finish. With running back Ernest Biner, Biner would like to forget this play ever happened. It's known forever in NFL lore as simply the fumble. The 1989 AFC Championship game was all Broncos, 37-21. And not to put salt on an open wound, but Browns fans still remember Red Right 88 in the 1981 AFC Divisional game. With Cleveland's kicker struggling throughout the ballgame, QB Brian Sipe forced a pass into a tight window in the end zone, and the Raiders intercepted the ball to Cockroft. Nothing worked for the Browns that day in special teams. Cockroft missed 2 field goals, had one of his extra points blocked, and couldn't kick another extra point due to a bad snap. Sipe didn't have faith in his special teams unit, but Mike Davis read the play well and intercepted the pass intended for Ozzie Newsome to eliminate the Browns. Next up on the list of teams to never make it to the Super Bowl are the Detroit Lions. Unlike the Browns, the Lions do not have many near misses to the Super Bowl. The last time the Lions reached an AFC Championship game was over 20 years ago in 1991. In 1991, the Lions suffered a tough loss against the Washington Commanders, and they haven't won a single playoff game since the early 90s. In fact, they've only won 1 playoff game since 1957. Ask any Lions fan, and they'll tell you the reason why they never played in the NFL Championship game is because of former Hall of Fame quarterback Bobby Lane. According to legend, Lane was not happy when he got traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He allegedly said, "This team won't win for 50 years.
The curse of Bobby Lane? You would have to ask me that, wouldn't you? I don't know specifically what it is, but there's so many freaking curses around here. Why not throw Bobby into it?"
This supposed quote was on October 6, 1958. Why is that so important, you might ask? Well, 50 years later, the Lions finished the 2008 regular season without a single victory. They became the first NFL team to go 0-16, even with Calvin Megatron Johnson on the roster. Call it a coincidence, but it sure is interesting that the Lions became quite possibly the worst team ever assembled 50 years to the day of Lane's famous curse. Perhaps if Lions ownership asks for forgiveness about trading Lane, perhaps the curse can be lifted? I'm kidding, of course, but the numbers are very eye-opening. Since 1991, the Lions are 0-8 during the wildcard round. They also haven't hosted a playoff game since 1993. Not only is it a rare occurrence when the Lions make the postseason, but they usually don't have a good enough record or tiebreakers to even host a playoff game. Division winners are the only teams to earn the distinction of hosting a playoff game, meaning the Lions haven't even won a division title since 1993. The Jacksonville Jaguars are last on the list of non-Super Bowl teams. They're not as new as the Houston Texans, but they're still one of the newer teams in the NFL. The Jaguars and the Carolina Panthers began playing for the NFL in 1995, expanding the total number of teams to 30 at the time.
The Jaguars have made it to the playoffs 7 of their 27 seasons. Still, when the Jaguars have made the playoffs, they've usually given their fans a story to remember. In just their second season of existence, the 1996 Jags upset John Elway's Broncos at Old Mile High Stadium. Mark Brunell and the Jags won 2 playoff games that year to set up an AFC Championship game tilt against Drew Bledsoe's New England Patriots. While the Jags fought hard, they still committed 4 turnovers on the road. Brunell had a game to forget as he threw 2 interceptions and even fumbled once. He luckily didn't lose the fumble, but he threw a costly pick in the red zone late in the ballgame. With under 4 minutes to go and his team down by 7, Brunell threw into double coverage on 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line. Willie Clay intercepted it, and the Patriots went on to win 20-6. It wasn't all Brunell's fault that night, but he still only completed 52.6% of his passes with no TD passes and 2 picks. The Jaguars would get back to the AFC Championship game in 1999. With Brunell under center, the Jags easily took care of the Dolphins 62-3 the previous week. The problem was, they had to play the Tennessee Titans during an AFC title game. The Jags finished the regular season as the AFC's best seed with a 14-2 record, but both of those losses came at the hands of the Titans, and Sunday, January 23, 2000, would be no different for the Jags and their fans. Tennessee, who had already dismantled Jacksonville 41-14 on December 26, picked up where they left off with a crushing 33-14 no-doubt win against their divisional opponent, although the Jags played at home. Brunell's knees were clearly bothering him, as he had to wear braces on both of his knees. He clearly wasn't at full strength, and it showed. He threw 2 picks, including another one in the end zone. He also fumbled twice and lost a fumble. Not really his fault, but he also got sacked in the end zone for a costly safety against his team. Jacksonville actually led 7-0 and then got outscored 33-7 to fall short of a Super Bowl appearance. The Jaguars would not win another playoff game until David Garrard became the starting quarterback, after winning the wild card thriller against Ben Roethlisberger's Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. The 17-0 undefeated Patriots knocked off the Jags at Gillette Stadium during the divisional round. Coming into the 2017 AFC Championship game, Blake Bortles was now the starting QB for Jacksonville. This time around, Jacksonville was known by their defensive nickname Saxonville, with their offense being more of a running attack than an air attack. Jacksonville came into the game 0-2 in New England all time during the playoffs, and they were hoping they could upset Tom Brady's Pats as a 3 seed and advance to its first ever Super Bowl. Jacksonville led by as many as 11 early on, and they led 20-10 early in the fourth quarter. Linebacker Miles Jack recovered a fumble by Dion Lewis and could have run it the other way for a touchdown. After further review, the officials determined that Jack was touched when he was still on the ground. The replays didn't seem to be conclusive, but the officials made their call. It was a huge decision, as Jack's touchdown would have made it 27-10. Instead, the Patriots got the ball back on a Brad Nortman punt and only needed 2 scores to win the game. Tom Terrific Brady and the Patriots did what they do best: get it done during the clutch. Brady smelled blood after Jack's possible touchdown was called back. Brady's Pats drove 85 yards to the Jaguars' end zone in under 4 minutes. After the Jaguars couldn't do anything offensively, Brady made the best of the short field by leading the offense 30 yards for the go-ahead score. With under 3 minutes left, Bortles led the offense to the New England 38-yard line, but Kyle Van Noy's sack of Bortles pretty much did in Jacksonville, and the Pats would run out the clock on some excellent run blocking. Just like that, the Jaguars fell to 0-3 all-time against the Pats in the playoffs, and once again missed out on playing in the Super Bowl. That concludes the list of teams to have never played in the Super Bowl. What are your thoughts on those 4 teams? Do you think any of them are on their way to a Super Bowl anytime soon? Who do you think will be the first to be removed from the list of teams to never play on Super Bowl Sunday?
Hey, this is Sarah Greenfalk, owner of PsychEdge. How would you like to learn how to manage your emotions and reactions in order to enhance your performance and be successful in life? I coach and counsel student athletes, performers, and professionals, giving them the mental skills and mindsets to build confidence and resilience. My background in physical therapy, massage therapy, personal training, and 15 years of counseling give my clients an advantage. So if you are wanting to be recruited, perform better, or struggling with life balance, anxiety, or depression symptoms, I will stand by you until we reach your goals. Contact me today, sarah@aimtogrow.com, and be sure to visit my website, psychedge.club, for your monthly blog on mental health, sport, and performance psychology tips.
10. Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final is taking place between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Philadelphia Flyers. The final result will be an overtime win in Philadelphia. If the Flyers end up victorious, they'll still have to win a Game 7 in Chicago. It's a 3-3 tie in the first overtime, meaning this has been a moderate offensive explosion with some decent defense and goaltending squeeze in between this hockey contest. This is a huge game for Blackhawks fans, as their favorite hockey team has been a laughingstock in the Western Conference for most of the previous decade. For the Flyers, they're looking to bring back Stanley Cup glory to the city of brotherly love for the first time since the 1970s. To truly understand the importance of what happens next, we need to hit that left button on the VCR. In other words, we need to rewind. The Blackhawks are an overtime goal away from cementing their legacy in NHL history. But for a franchise who used to not even televise its home games, this seemed like a pipe dream even 5 years ago. Known for his severe cheapness, Blackhawks former owner Bill Wirtz decided to cancel all home broadcast agreements with network and cable television outlets in 1992. According to Wirtz and the Wirtz Corporation as a whole, home broadcasts were, quote, unfair to the team's season ticket holders, unquote. And as crazy as this decision was by Wirtz, fan attendance increased during the mid-1990s. Incredibly, without normal home broadcasts and overall television brand awareness about the team, the Hawks averaged over 19,300 fans during the mid-1990s at the United Center. This is how it worked. WGN and other media outlets couldn't broadcast the Blackhawks games at the United Center. But if a national broadcasting network such as ESPN decided to telecast the game, a Blackhawk fan could purchase HawkVision, a subscription network worth $29.99 per month. Then you could watch the ESPN broadcast of Blackhawks vs. Red Wings at the United Center on normal cable television. It was pretty confusing, to be sure, and as you know, the internet wasn't big back then. If you were a big hockey fan and wanted to know about the Blackhawks, you either had to go to the game or wait for the hockey highlight on SportsCenter. Even then, hockey coverage wasn't big on ESPN, so it was in your best interest to purchase a ticket at the UC. So the fans kept supporting the Blackhawks even though they couldn't watch their favorite team on TV. However, the product on the ice wasn't so great. As if it were a curse from the hockey gods, the Hawks kept finding different ways to choke in the playoffs. An original six team, the Hawks were at one time the second most cursed original six franchise. The New York Rangers went titleless from 1940 until 1994, and the Hawks now find themselves in the same place as the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs and the Hawks have not hoisted Lord Stanley's Cup since the 1960s decade. For the Hawks, it's been even worse. They haven't won it all since 1961, and before that, Chicago went 23 years without hoisting the Cup. The Maple Leafs have been a borderline disaster since 1967, but at least the Leafs were a dynasty in the 60s. The Hawks were lucky to even win the 1961 Stanley Cup. So yeah, the Hawks have pretty much been mediocre or worse since 1961. However, there were moments when the franchise seemed destined for championship glory. The worst moment for Chicago hockey fans was the 1971 Stanley Cup Final against the hated Montreal Canadiens. Without air conditioning at Old Chicago Stadium, the Hawks were the home team during Game 7 of the Finals against the Canadiens. Jumping out to an early 2-0 lead, legendary netminder Tony Esposito couldn't stop Jacques Lamar's 60-foot-away snapshot, giving the Canadiens their first goal of the contest. Chicago Tribune writer Bob Verdi said there was a humid haze hung over the ice, but Esposito refused to blame the rink's lack of air conditioning on the soft goal he gave up. He had a point, since Lamar's shot was nearly from the center line. The Canadiens never looked back and scored twice more to upset the Hawks and win 3-2 on Chicago's home ice. Since then, the Hawks have never been closer to winning the Cup as they were that day in 1971. That is, until tonight anyway. As painful as it was in 1971, Hawks fans who were still alive in 1992 had to be devastated at what happened next to Ed Belfour and Dominik Hasek. Incredibly, Eddie the Eagle Belfour and Dominik the Dominator Hasek were both on the Blackhawks at the same time. Two future Hall of Fame goalies were both on the Hawks, and yet the franchise still couldn't win a Stanley Cup with either netminder. Belfour was the starter during the brief Belfour-Hasek years. The Hawks made the 1992 Stanley Cup championship round with Belfour and Hasek both on the roster. It was also a Chicago team with Chris Chelios leading the defenseman, and forward Jeremy Roenick was on this Hawks team as well. Led by captain Dirk Graham, the Hawks went on a very impressive winning streak in the playoffs. After falling to a 2-1 series deficit to the St. Louis Blues, the Hawks won their next 3 games against the Blues, as well as back-to-back series sweeps against the Detroit Red Wings and the Edmonton Oilers. Just like that, 11 consecutive victories saw the Blackhawks 4 wins away from ending up as the last team standing. The only team in their proverbial way, the NHL's version of the Super Mario Brothers, otherwise known as Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr. The Pittsburgh Penguins were the defending Cup champions, and after narrowly beating the Washington Capitals in Game 7 during Round 1, the Pens found their way in the finals thanks to winning 8 of their last 10 games. Hasek was probably Chicago's better goalie entering the playoffs, as the Dominator earned all rookie honors and went 10-4-1 during his 15 starts between the pipes. Between a contract holdout from Belfour and Crazy Eddie missing games this season due to personal reasons, Hasek was turning into a fan favorite, while Belfour was the more controversial choice at net. However, head coach and general manager Mike Keenan stuck with Belfour throughout the playoffs. He turned out to be the best goaltender in the postseason, not named Tom Barrasso. The problem is Barrasso plays for Pittsburgh, so it was up to Roenick and company to find consistent offense against the Eastern Conference's best goalie. It looked like the Hawks had the Pens right where they wanted them when they took a 4-1 lead during Game 1. But the hockey gods haven't liked Chicago since 1961. Whenever the Hawks can blow a postseason lead during crunch time, they like to do it. The Pens scored 4 unanswered goals on their home ice, including the game winner with just 13 seconds left in OT. A crushing 5-4 loss for the Hawks, and they never rebounded from it. It was a sweep for the Pens as the Penguins celebrated their championship victory at Chicago Stadium. Hasek even showed during the series that he still had some raw rookie moments, but Belfour clearly wasn't himself. Hasek subbed in for Belfour in Game 4 after Eddie the Eagle gave up 2 goals on just 4 shots on goal. Keenan had a tough decision to make between keeping Hasek and Belfour, but with Belfour 1 year removed from winning the Vezina and Williams M. Jennings trophies for best goalie, Keenan had no choice but to allow Hasek to become expendable. The Sabres then cashed in on the young goalie's athleticism by fleecing the Hawks with a terrible trade request. The Sabres received a future Hall of Famer in Hasek, and the Blackhawks received just future draft considerations and a goalie in Stefan Beauregard, who never played a single minute in the goalie crease. The future draft considerations eventually led to the Hawks drafting Eric Daze in the 4th round. Daze became an all-star left winger, but serious back and herniated disc issues saw the team's promising winger limited to just 74 games in 3 seasons after his all-star game appearance in 2002. He retired after playing just 1 game in 2005. That being said, Keenan didn't want there to be a locker room controversy between Hasek and Belfour, and it's easy to say in hindsight when no one knew how great Hasek would become. Unfortunately, Belfour wouldn't even finish his career in Chicago. The Hawks were worried that he would resign with the team.
Welcome into the pregame show sponsored by Sports Broadcast Solution. I'm Kara Lentz on the campus of St. Ignatius College Prep. Justin Scott, D lineman for St. Ignatius, taking the time to talk to us before the start against Marmion. I want to flash back to last week. Decisive team victory against St. Lawrence. What was key in that victory, and where's the confidence now with the team coming into today?
Yeah, definitely. I would say that game we just didn't come in locked in. We finally, locked it in the 4th quarter, after they had put 16 up on the board. So I say this game, just lock it in from the start, just prove them, just prove ourselves.
And coming from the defense part of this team, when you look at the offense and, you know, the backs you have in the backfield and the quarterback you have, what's it like to watch an offense like that for this team and how they click?
Yeah, I'm actually playing offense too now. So, you know, just blocking for them guys, seeing them go, you know, get them yards, get them big runs, get them touchdowns, you know, it's just, you know, amazing, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at a team going up against a team like Marmion, only put up 3 points just last week. What's the scout report on a team like Marmion, and what's going to be important with scoring some points today?
Yeah, I would say definitely after a tough loss like that, they're going to come into this game, you know, eager, you know, hungry, just how we were week 1. So I would say just play our game, you know, keep our heads down, just go to work.
It's homecoming game too. What type of extra spark does that provide for you?
Yeah, definitely a lot. I know it's especially for the seniors, you know, it's their last ride. They don't want to, you know, end on a loss. So, and we got a lot of people coming out today, so we got to put on the show.
This is the last game, home game, before you go on a 3-game swing on the road. So really, when you look at it, and before looking ahead to next week, what's that all about? What should we see today?
Definitely, you know, defending our home field, you know, just defending our turf. You know, we want to end this little home run on a good note. So yeah.
Any words of any messages from the coaches before the start of today's game that sticks out?
Nothing much, just good lucks, you know. Yeah.
All right, Justin. Well, we thank you for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we are just minutes away from kickoff with Marmion and St. Ignatius, and we'll be back right at it. Cool.
My name is Mary Ellen Schneider, and I'm the Fine Arts Department Chair at St. Ignatius. I'm proud to say that we probably have at least 50% of the student body involved in one of the visual or performing arts throughout their career here. It's important for the students to be involved in the arts here because they learn something that they can enjoy for a lifetime. There's no cap on how old you can be to be a musician or a visual artist and create. Our talented students are very creative. Beautiful things are displayed around the school. They also get very excited about productions and concerts, performing for others. And there's so many options for you and so much for you to have fun with. I love being department chair because it's exciting to be able to lead a group of other artists and to see them be able to be involved in the arts. Sometimes at the high school level, it becomes very selective. We have so many things here that are inclusive of students at all levels.
If you can hear me, that's fine. Okay, all right.
Here we go.
Okay.
5, 4, 3.
The pregame show sponsored by Sports Broadcast Solutions, now joined by Ryan Prell for Marmion. And Ryan, if you look back to just last weekend, only put up 3 points on the board, so the biggest question mark, how do we get some points scored today?
You know, last week was a good wake-up call, and this week we were prepared better. Team alone, I feel like gotten better 1,000%, you know. It's going to be better this week, so just can't wait to compete tonight.
When you look at the defense here for St. Ignatius, what are some keys also when you look to attacking them?
No, not to run the ball a lot, you know, try to pass the ball a little more, but just have a good time, be excited to be out here.
All right, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.
Just minutes away from kickoff here at St. Ignatius College Prep.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Marmion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. Well, my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape, but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics, and we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense, and Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway, a 2-on-0, a shot, and a goal! So 3-3, the power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. We broadcast sporting events for people of all ages, including adult leagues, high school leagues, and kids. Complete with professional-looking graphics, broadcasters, color analysis, and commercials. We do pre- and post-game interviews with the players. In addition, Sports Broadcast Solutions does highlight films, including college recruiting reels, highlight films you'd see on sports news programs, and just simply highlight films for fun. Sports Broadcast Solutions also provides raw footage and live streams if you'd like. Subscribe to us and listen to our professional talk videos about relevant topics in the pro and college ranks. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, contact us at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital world.
Welcome to beautiful Fornelli Field. I'm Kyle Smith alongside Kara Lentz for the Wolfpack against the Cadets. Marmion Academy visiting beautiful Fornelli Field against St. Ignatius College Prep. Kara, it doesn't get much better than this. We've got the skyline behind us. It reminds me of old Soldier Field.
I mean, it's a scenic background, especially when you have the backdrop of downtown Chicago. And not to mention that, but it's homecoming here at St. Ignatius College Prep. Good show out by the crowd today.
Both teams are 2-1, Kara, and do you think that Marmion can slow down this amazing triple option? Only one team has. It was St. Patrick.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a Marmion team that had their hands full last week against Montini, coming away with a defeat after getting 2 wins to start the season. But this is also a Marmion team that's hungry to come into this game, looking at what happened last season.
Yeah, St. Ignatius actually almost lost their first game of the year to Marmion, but the story of this program, Kara, we've seen Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We've seen the good of Marmion, but the turnovers have been killing the Cadets the last couple of years. 5 fumbled snaps last week against Montini.
And that gives the defense for St. Ignatius a lot of confidence coming into this game. And speaking with the quarterback for Marmion coming into this, you know, they just want to be able to really hunker down on their offense, get some good attack going, and also not run the ball too much. They're looking to be a little bit more creative on that offense.
Marmion, we talked about it. They had St. Ignatius on the ropes last year at Marmion, but the turnovers are killing them. The good news is, Kara, a lot of people watched that Bears game on Sunday against the 49ers. We don't have to deal with the rain tonight. Very little wind, so if interceptions and fumble snaps happen, I'm sorry, but it's the quarterback's fault. You can't blame the weather conditions tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you can only control the controllables, right? At least that's what they teach you since you're very young. But you also have to look at a game like that where you have the miscues and the mistakes. It's a reset button. There's nothing you can do besides go back to it, look at the film, and be like, all right, guys, we got that one underneath our belt. Let's move on. Let's tidy up all of the details and go at it on Friday night.
If you're Marmion, you know that St. Ignatius loves to run the ball. In fact, they have the 3 options, but they very rarely pitch it out as the 3rd option. If you're Marmion, do you stack the box and force St. Ignatius to pitch it out and or pass the ball to try to create more of a spread attack than their typical running attack?
I think you have to get them out of their comfort zone, and that is their comfort zone, right? So if you put more pressure on that ball in the backfield, get it out to the sidelines, and your defense has to be disciplined.
We're going to take a 30-second break. We'll give you more analysis. The Wolfpack against the Cadets here on SBS.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Back to beautiful Fornelli Field. Kyle Smith alongside with KL, as it stands for Kara Lentz. And Kara, both teams 2-1. It doesn't hurt each team to lose. 2-2 is not ideal, but both teams started off well. Marmion was 2-0. They lost last week to Montini, and St. Ignatius got that big win last week against St. Lawrence to move to 2-1.
Yeah, and they went into that final quarter with a significant lead, but just some miscues, right, that St. Lawrence was able to get back into the game. But when you look at St. Ignatius, I think this is a big game because their next 3 games are going to be on the road, especially when you look at Mount Carmel next weekend.
Mount Carmel, one of the powerhouses.
So if you're looking to make a statement, I think at this point in the season of your St. Ignatius, it has to be tonight. It's homecoming, coming off of a big win. Before you go on the road, you want to have some confidence. You want to play everything tight, come away with a big victory.
And Mount Carmel, I'm not saying they circled that game on the calendar, but they were embarrassed last year here at Fornelli Field. St. Ignatius beat them for the first time in 93 years, 27-0. KL is a former athlete. Do you remember that? A team you used to pound on, then they give you a little taste of your own medicine, they destroy you. Would you circle a game like that for revenge the next season?
Well, I don't think you just circle on your schedule. I think you go in the postseason training or whatever sport you play in the offseason, and you have that going through your head, and you work harder because you want to be better than that competitor on the field that day.
What are your predictions? I'm going to pick the home team, but I'm not that confident in it because Marmion had them on the ropes last week. I just don't know what cadet team I'm going to get on offense. Am I going to get the cadet team that can go right down the field seamlessly, or am I going to get the cadet team that fumbles snaps?
I think we'll learn in the first few minutes of the first quarter, right? And if you're Marmion too, you have to get the turnovers, right? Because you see the time of possession for St. Ignatius. They can run the clock, they can run the ball. That will wear you down if you're not going to be able to put up points on the board. So the defense has to be disciplined in trying to get some turnovers.
All right, that does it for our pregame show. So we will take a break. The public address announcing and the national anthem coming up next here on SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Marmion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. Well, my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Well, we're a little ahead of schedule. So Marmion, as you see on our screen, 12-minute quarters. Marmion at 2-1, St. Ignatius at 2-1. St. Ignatius, of course, in the maroon. The Cadets in the blue and white. The text line is open tonight. Your favorite high school, college, or NFL memory, just text 330-957-7653, and I will read them on the air. All FCC regulations do apply, so please do not send us bad stuff. KL, doesn't get much better than this. Were you big into Friday Night Lights when you were in high school?
Yeah, I can say that I was. Growing up on the East Coast, my brother played in an all-boys Catholic school conference. Still holds a rushing record, I believe, at the school, inducted to the Hall of Fame. So needless to say, I was known as Lencey's little sister.
Yeah.
Running around the field, probably underneath the bleachers, maybe not paying that much attention all the time. But my dad got it all on film, Kyle. This was before the days of live streaming.
This was linear editing, tape to tape, right?
Oh, yeah.
No SD cards back then.
No, not at all. The VHS, baby. They're still there.
Do you still have a VHS player, or did you throw it out?
Yes, my father does.
He does?
Yeah. DVD, too.
DVD. I mean, that's old school now. Even like Blu-ray is kind of old school.
Anything that is just with an actual tape is old school.
Yeah, if you're not on Amazon Prime or Netflix or Hulu, you're a dinosaur.
With the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight with gratitude in our hearts. We thank you for this opportunity to see these young men utilize well the talents with which you've endowed them. May they play with tenacity. May their ardor on the field be a source of inspiration for us all. And may all of their actions, both on and off the field, be for the greater glory and honor of your most holy name. We make this prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen. St. Ignatius. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Please remain standing and face the flag. Tonight we are joined by the Wolfpack men's soccer team seniors, Liam O'Connell, Brock Richards, Patrick Trilly, and Lucas Hanna in the singing of our national anthem.
That'll get you pumped up. Get a little guy action. Male bonding with a little, what's that called? Barbershop quartet, that's what it was.
Some barbershop.
Hey, it was better than Roseanne. It doesn't get much worse than Roseanne doing the national anthem.
It's a team effort.
It's a team effort, yeah. One is a team, all is a team, right?
Right.
Wolfpack against the Cadets. We'll stick with the action. I'm picking the Wolfpack. I'm not confident in the pick, but I'll pick the Wolfpack 28-21. What do you think, Kara?
I think it'll be a close game. It's hard to predict a winner so early in this, but I think when you look at St. Ignatius, what they did last week against St. Lawrence, it was a whole team effort. It wasn't just the offense. The defense was playing very well. Besides maybe a slip up in the fourth quarter, but the team came away knowing that they all put in their effort. They all came away with a great victory.
All right, Kara on color and TD honors. I'm Kyle Smith here at Fornelli Field, home of the Wolfpack. St. Ignatius will have the possession. They won the coin toss, and they will receive. Deep for the Wolfpack, and the kick return coverage is John Kemp and Alex Teach. For the Cadets, Daniel Cooper will kick. He's listed actually on the roster as an offensive guard and defensive tackle. Apologize, that's actually number 60, Harley Carner. Carner, the place kicker, will kick, and here we go. It's a decent kick at the 10-yard line, and it's brought in by the Wolfpack. At the 20, at the 30, decent coverage, still on his feet. Great return by the Wolfpack. John Kemp gets past the 40, and that's how you get it done, Miss Lentz, all the way to the 44. First and 10 with the Wolfpack with 11:52 to go.
Great agility and also the ability to find that hole and execute straight into space. What a great first play of this game.
So right now they've got him marked at the 45, and he got forward progress. So it's at the St. Ignatius 45, first and 10, 11:52 on the clock. And here comes that ferocious triple option led by their 6'4" quarterback, Jake Petro, the senior. 193 pounds coming into the season, and he might have put on an extra 7 as we continue on this season. Play action. Looks to the right. He's got him. His receiver, and caught for a good gain over 4 yards over to Stewart. All right, Kara. We thought they weren't going to pass. First play of the game.
And it's
play action.
Yeah, important to carry that momentum. And this is a Marmion team expecting that run game coming from St. Ignatius. Gotta love the play calling at this point, right, Kyle?
Clock continues to run. 2nd and 3. Ball at the 48. And St. Ignatius in no rush. And I'm not going to say that the Cadets are shell-shocked at all, but you don't expect pass when the last couple of weeks they've only passed it a combined 10 or so times. But first play of the game, they pass, and it's a completion out to Stewart. Looking to keep the defense guessing with runs and passes. Under center is Petro, still taking his time. No play clock on your screen at the high school level. Quarterback sneak, fell down, dove for the first down marker, but he's about a yard short. 3rd and short, we'll call it 1 for the Wolfpack at the 45.
4 on the tackle, Alfonso Barraza. 3rd down in the yard.
10:40 on the clock. Wolfpack taking their time, and Kara, the Cadets know this. Every possession for the Wolfpack is important because they know the more first downs that the Wolfpack get, the less possessions the Cadet offense gets. And the Wolfpack are fine just bleeding that clock. 12-minute quarters, 10:20 to go. Another play action. Flag on the field. Looks deep as he looks for Connor.
Intended receiver Al Connor, incomplete.
And incomplete. Flag on the field. It might either be illegal man in motion or it might be encroachment against the Cadets.
Penalty is declined. It's 4th down and a yard to go.
So it indeed is on the Wolfpack. I don't know, Kara. I would accept it. That would have made it 3rd and 6. Now it's 4th and 1. This is the Ignatius bread and butter. They love running the ball on 4th and 1. I would have accepted that penalty. What about you? What would you have done?
I'm with you, Kyle.
You would have. Yeah, because 3rd and 6 better than 4th and 1 for a team that loves to run the ball, anyways.
Right.
They don't pass the ball, so they're fine doing 4th and 1. They run this a lot in practice. 4th and 1 for the Wolfpack. They got it and more. A lot more, in fact.
A gain of 5.
Well, I'm not saying that's a mistake, but I personally would have accepted it. Here's the thing, though. Let's say you accept the penalty and the Wolfpack gets 6 yards anyways. They might get 5 yards on 3rd and 6 and go for it anyway. So, darn if you do, darn if you don't situation. Clock continues to run. 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack. Ball at the 40-yard line. Games go by fast at Fornelli Field because nobody can stop the Wolfpack. Text line open, 330-957-7653.
They run it up to Rugai. Entering this game, Rugai is 85 yards away from tying the record, so he needs 86 to be the all-time rushing record at St. Ignatius. And Kara, that's so impressive. Not only is he going to break the record, he began playing as a freshman on the varsity team. Very impressive stuff by Mr. Rugai. 1st and 10, ball placed at the 31-yard line. Your favorite high school, college, or NFL memory? Text 330-957-7653. They run it to Rugai again. It's a short gain.
Gain of 3. Good for a first down.
So it was actually not enough previous play, but they got it that time. 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack.
Zach Strand on the tackle.
Shout out to Mimi Boyle, Luke, Jenna, Alexis, Polly, Gretchen, Rory. Welcome to Fornelli Field.
29.
It's just so hard to stop this triple option, Kara. Every play, it's just hard to stop the Wolfpack.
And just the commanding presence that you see Jake Pertreau have with this offense initially off the snap.
Another flag, most likely on the Wolfpack. That's what's also problematic about the triple option. Sometimes on the offense, because there's different snap counts, different looks. Sometimes as a guard, you don't know the snap count, so you have a false start against the offense. Can you imagine if the Bears ran the triple option? I don't think Justin Fields would like that with all the quarterback sneaks he would do with it. It's tough to defend. I remember, now you're a Michigan alum, you probably forget this, but 8:31 on the clock. Navy almost beat Michigan running the triple option. This was a couple years ago, like 2020. You know, if you don't have the defenders that can get low on the quarterback sneaks, and you can't read that handoff,
At the Cadet 34.
it's hard to defend. 1st and 15 at the 34. Clock continues to run, under 8:27 to go. They've got one wide receiver to the left, that's Clement Carey. And now they'll set up George Lewis at the other wide receiver spot. Not a lot of blitzes yet by the Cadet defense. We'll see if they change that in the second quarter. Fakes the handoff, quarterback keeper didn't get much.
Keeper, a gain of 1.
They'll give him a yard. 2nd and 14 at the 33.
2nd and 14 at the Cadet 34.
Well, the Wolfpack have not been afraid to pass tonight. You need 13 for a first down. You don't have to pass here, but if you're going to run it, you need at least 5 to get to a manageable third down. They've got Helms at kicker, who's got a pretty good boot. Can you imagine if NFL games were like this? You'd be out of Soldier Field in an hour.
Well, you got to take in consideration the traffic to really get out of Soldier Field.
This is true. All right.
Rugai on the carry.
Good hit. Rugai got 2 on the carry. 3rd and long coming up.
81, Zach Post.
So 3rd and 12 at the 31. Well, we'll say if they go to Arlington, you can go home in an hour after the game. 3rd and long. And they're actually going to place it at the 30. This might be 4-down territory, Kara, but if you're going to do that, you need at least 5 yards to consider going for it, one would think. What do you think here, a pass or a run?
I think they're going to pass it.
Well, they've shown pass to start off this game. Here they go again. Play action, steps into his throw. Wide receiver fell down. It's a good call, but Stewart fell down.
Stewart falls incomplete, brings up 4th down.
4th and 12. I would punt, and they are going to do that. Well, the Cadets did their job. They slowed down the Wolfpack enough to get the ball back, but the Ignatius offense wins the field possession battle, and the ball will be placed inside the 10 if you get a good punt here.
Pasteri to hold. Helms to kick.
They're gonna. This is what? They're going to kick it. Helms the kick. It's wide left. My goodness, I'm not so sure about that play call, Kara. What do you think?
Well, I think you're trying to ride some momentum, right, when you ump up the first quarter, and St. Ignatius is just so lethal. Almost half the quarter already lapsed with 6 minutes and 24 left on the clock, and that's really how St. Ignatius can take the tempo of a game from the start.
They missed it, though. Remember, it's where the holder was. So even though the ball was at the 30, the holder's at the 35. So the ball's placed at the 33 or 35 where the holder is.
I think that tells me you have some confidence in your defense, too. And that might be something that they're building on from last week in that St. Lawrence game.
Kick is a touchback.
I'm sorry, it's high school rules, so kick is a touchback. I've been doing so many NCAA games, it's hard to keep track of the rules, so it's a touchback. So actually, I guess that play call's not too bad, because in NFL, that'd be at the 35, but high school's at the 20. 1st and 10 for the Cadets, led by their quarterback, Ryan Prell. Need to avoid the turnovers, as they had a lot of them in that game last week against Montini. 5 fumbled snaps. They had 2 interceptions in the second-round playoff loss to Nazareth Academy. First time we've seen the Marmion offense tonight. It's a good running play off the left guard, and they'll get the first down and more as they run it to Jack Lesher, the 6'3", 205-pound tailback, who's also listed as a linebacker on the team. He will graduate next year. Clock stops at 6:11 for a brief second, then restarts. I don't know. I personally would have punt, because if you can get them inside the 10, they would have pinned them back. Now the Cadets seem to have the momentum. Still early on, though, but I'm not so sure about that kick. Helms missed it wide to the left. Prell takes the snap. Lesher in the backfield. Little jet sweep action, and the Wolfpack stopped them behind the line of scrimmage.
On the tackle, number 21, Xavier Flores on the carry.
Flores on the carry. Burns got the initial hit.
On the play.
Declan Boyle was there as well.
Second down.
Have
and
not
16 from the Cadet 24.
Big time tackle for loss. 2nd and 16 at the 24. Under 5:15 to go. Shotgun formation. Prell looks to his left and gets a short gain on the completion.
Prell's pass is complete to number 27, Chase Hoffman.
He got it over to Hoffman.
Brought down by number 5, Alex Beach. Gain of 5, 3rd down and 11.
It's 3rd and 11 for the Cadets as Deach was on the tackle. Got to be careful here. Remember, the Cadets have struggled with the turnovers the last couple of years. What do you feel comfortable with here, Kara? Do you want to go a deep fly route or just a button hook?
A deep fly route.
Here they go out to the left with Prell. He's got some room to run, and it's deflected away by the Wolfpack.
Pass broken up by number 33.
It was a tight window. Prell tried to push that one through, and the Wolfpack said, I don't think so. 4th down coming up for the Cadets. So, head coach Matt Miller decides to be a little risky and go for the field goal. They don't get it, but hey, they got the stop, and they had confidence in their defense. They'd get a 3-and-out. Marmion got 1 first down on the drive, but the big tackle behind the line of scrimmage leads to 4 downs eventually and a punt for the Cadets.
Erickson, the punt for the Cadets.
Deep for the Wolfpack is Bloss. It's a really nice kick, and Bloss has to go to his right. It takes a couple of friendly Cadet hops, and Bloss has to yell out poison. The Cadets will have the ball at the 21-yard line.
21-yard line.
Great punt, Kara. You got the hops you wanted, and you made sure that it couldn't be returned. First and 10 for the Wolfpack at their own 21. Here's that man again, Jake Petro. They gave Justin Scott a break on the D-line. He will stay on offensive line to start this game. Two wide receivers set. as they run Bloss in motion. Petro with a great fake handoff, still on his feet, past midfield, one man to beat, and he beats him. It's going to be a touchdown for Petro. Petro with the beautiful fake handoff, and the senior scores to make it 6-0 St. Ignatius.
Scoring 5, covered 79 yards in one play.
How about that? They do a couple of passes, it doesn't work. Petro's like, I'll just do it the hard way and I'll run it in for the touchdown.
Pulling out all the plays and the names from the Rolodex, right? But you look at You just look at the athleticism of Petro, though. I mean, this is a player that just commands so much on the field as a quarterback from the start of the play, has a great demeanor, and the respect that his teammates have for him as well. And just that's right from the initial stop. But, I mean, he was gone in 5 seconds, Kyle. The foot speed of Petro with the strength that he has, the height that he has, it's going to be a hard player to bring down in the open field.
Looked like a little Lamar Jackson on that quarterback sneak. Fake handoff, one man to beat, he beats the linebacker. Safeties had no chance for the tackle.
No chance. I mean, it's just the breakaway speed that player has at number 10 for this St. Ignatius team is incredible to watch.
He's got speed. He's also got the size. You got to worry about the speed. Yeah. He's also 6'4", so you got to get low. You get high on him, he's not going to go down.
I mean, I just see the presence that he has on the field is the most impressive part about him to me.
We'll stick with the action. 3:59 remaining. Marmion will get the ball. St. Ignatius once again picking up where they left off last week. They've dominated the possessions. Marmion had it for what, maybe 2 minutes? St. Ignatius gets it right back, 79 yards the other way. And Marmion just has to bounce back and not think about what just happened, because if you do that, it's going to get in your head going into the second quarter.
6, Jack Lesher, back kick for the Cadets.
Another good kick by Henry Helms.
Through the end zone.
And it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Marmion Cadets.
Cadets begin their possession at their own 20-yard line.
Just no more passes from St. Ignatius. Just run the ball. You don't need to pass because you can get 79-yard runs.
You just want to hop out to that lead early in the quarter, and that's what they did in the game against St. Lawrence, right? They went into that fourth quarter with a big lead and really a little too comfortable coming into that fourth quarter. That's when the mistakes were made. Yeah, exactly. So I think when you're looking at how they want to be able to perform today, have that hot start, but the ability to be able to perform in that fourth quarter to close out a game is going to be huge.
Handoff off the shotgun snap.
21,
Trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and I don't think he did. Xavier Flores on the carry. He indeed lost a yard. 2nd and 11 at the 19. They are going excited at the St. Ignatius student section. We've got the LeBron James S. Chalk up in the air. I mean, it is a frenzy here at Fornelli Field. It's a lot different than a typical high school field with bleachers. It's a very different environment.
The students are all the way down to the track.
You got the white out tonight, trying to blind the white cadets. Cadets, of course, in the white and blue tonight. Shotgun formation for Prell. Looks to his left. Screen pass for the cadets. Help is there. Helms finishing the tackle. Hey, kickers are players too. Helms with the field goal attempt didn't go through. That's all right. Plays a little safety as well and gets the big time hit.
From the Cadet 21.
3rd and 9 at the 21. Most likely a passing play. I would say a screen. What do you think, Kara? You want to go fly route or a screen here?
Screen here.
The way a screen usually works is you let the D tackles, D ends come up to the quarterback, and then you hit the screen. You got nothing but running room in front of them. See what the Cadets want to do here on 3rd and 9. Led by head coach Dan Thorpe. Looking downfield, good coverage. No chance. On the coverage was John Kemp. Intended receiver was Xavier Flores.
On the coverage. 4th down and 9 for the Cadets.
Now, I was wrong before. I thought it was going to be a punt. The Wolfpack decided to go for it on the kick, and they missed. I'd be shocked if this was a fake punt. But you know what? If you feel confident in it, you got to find a way to maintain your possessions, Karen, because you're going to get so few of them against this Wolfpack triple option.
Every single touch counts when you go up to a team like St. Ignatius that controls the time of possession.
Decent kick. Hang time is excellent, and Bloss has no choice. But the fair catch, he dropped it. Ball loose. Cadets go after it. Who got it? It looks like the Cadets waiting for the call from the ref.
Loose ball recovered by the Cadets.
And the Cadets get it. Oh, boy.
Number 11 recovers.
Mistakes are going to happen, Kara. Bad things are going to happen, but the Wolfpack have to stop these fumbles. They're keeping teams in the game.
I mean, Marmion, good on them right now. They've stopped the clock. They have another chance here on offense with 2 minutes left to drive down the field and be able to tie this game in the first intermission.
That's one, if you don't feel confident catching it, just let it bounce. Just can't afford a fumbled punt there. They fumble it. 1st and 10, possession arrow to the Cadets at the Wolfpack 42. They're going to change the formation as they move the tight end to the other side in Bostrand. 2 running backs in the backfield. They run it to Flores. Help is there. A tackle for loss by the Wolfpack. Flag on the field.
There's a flag on the play.
It's against Marmion. Personally, I would accept it, but I can understand why you wouldn't, because it goes from either 1st and 20 to either 2nd and 13.
Holding against the Cadets.
See what the Wolfpack want to do. They'll accept it. So 1st and 20 at the 48 of Marmion.
It'll be 1st and 20 for the Cadets.
Sorry, 45-yard line. 45-yard line. 1st and 20 for Marmion. Both teams making some big mistakes, but you know, partner, when you're in a position like that and the defensive tackle gets instant penetration, it's hard not to hold because you don't want to run your running back out to dry either. They run Flores in motion. Prell looks to his right. And brought down by the Wolfpack.
Lim on the reception, Rugai on the tackle.
Decent gain on 1st and 20, so that'll make it 2nd and 11. So they get back close to the original line of scrimmage. Substitution for the Wolfpack, taking a seat, will be Ogwue Ogbana.
2nd down and 15 for the Cadets at the Wolfpack 46.
Under a minute to go. Shotgun to Prell. He looks to his right. Breaks a tackle. Doesn't get much after the original broken tackle. 3rd and long coming up.
21, Xavier Flores.
The Cadets do not have to run another play if they don't want to. Substitution for the Wolfpack. Back into the game, Mateo Jones.
Rugai and Deitch on the tackle.
Mateo is a 5'10", 198-pound linebacker from Francis Xavier Ward. Also plays on the defensive line. Cadets come out of the huddle. Under 17 to go in the quarter. They split the wide receivers. A clean pocket for Prell. Looks downfield, terrible throw, almost intercepted.
Pass intended for Flores, incomplete.
Intended receiver was Flores, but really Stiegletter was the closest receiver for the Wolfpack. We talked a lot about this Ignatius offense, but we need to start giving credit to the defense as well. They've made so many teams uncomfortable on offense. Clean snap. High arching punt. Bloss this time will yell out poison, and the ball rolls past the 10. Inside the 10 at the 6-yard line. So the Wolfpack will be inside their own 10 when we come back. 2nd quarter coming up next here on SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede.
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art Class C graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marmion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Gotta love the playlist that they do at St. Ignatius College Prep. Kyle Smith alongside Kara Lentz. A little old school with that song. That was like from 2005.
I mean, the rave days, huh?
In their drive, first and 10 from their own 6-yard line.
You know, some are just classic.
You just
Right,
there's
Kyle?
some songs you just always have to play. YMCA, got a little Neil Diamond with Sweet Caroline.
I think you've heard it all, right?
First and 10 at the 6 for the Wolfpack. Story of the game thus far, 79-yard touchdown run for Jake Petro. And that's it, 7-0 Wolfpack. Cadets have not done much on offense. Wolfpack had a missed field goal as well. They run it up the gut, a couple of yards, getting closer to the 10, and forward progress past the 10.
Rugai in the carry.
Rugai getting closer and closer to the school record. He gets 3, 2nd and 7.
Second and 6 from the Wolfpack 10-yard line.
Second and medium for the Wolfpack. One wide receiver spread out to Petro's left. Good run play for the Wolfpack.
Rugai in the carry.
Rugai again, he gets the first.
Out to the 19, good for a Wolfpack first down.
I'm not going to say it'd be demoralizing, Kara, but if the Wolfpack go 94 yards to score a touchdown, how do the Cadets come back from that?
I think you just have to be able to readjust really quickly, especially, you know, what they went through last week against Montini and the blowout of the game that was.
Montini won last week. That was the first loss of Marmion's season as they avenged a playoff loss from last year. Sorry, regular season loss to Marmion. Another running play to Rugai again. Gets out to the 25-yard line. First and 10 for the Wolfpack. Just keep moving the chains.
2nd and 2 for the Wolfpack.
2nd and 2. I mean, we might see Rugai break the record tonight. We might see the quarterback and the star running back both have over 100 yards rushing. That's how lethal this triple option is for the Wolfpack.
And Rugai is just a solid player when he has the ball in his hands. Started the season just shy of 200 yards with breaking that record to start the season. So that gives him a lot of capability to be able to come into these games and continue to rack up the yards, but not carry the ball every single time. So the way that he can carry himself through the game, the endurance that this player has, is really remarkable.
3rd and 4.
Lost 2 on the pitch over to Bloss. 3rd and 4.
3-yard line.
Look, the Wolfpack, all they do is run the ball. So if you can get to 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, even if you're inside your own 30-yard line, the Wolfpack still feel confident doing that because nobody has proven this year, except for maybe St. Patrick, they can stop the Wolfpack on short yardage plays.
And that gives you confidence when you're in your own deep end of the field, right, below the 20-yard line.
They're going to spot it at the 23. 3rd and 4 for the Wolfpack. Most likely a run, but we've seen a couple of play actions by the Wolfpack. Petro under center. Gets the snap. Blown dead immediately by the linesman.
There's a flag on the play.
Initial inclination is false start against the Wolfpack, and it is. That'll make it
Legal
3rd and
motion
9. They'll call it actually a legal motion.
Backs him up 5. It's 3rd down and 9.
3rd and 9 at the 18. I don't know, Kara. I think you got to be careful here. 3rd and 9 for the Wolfpack. I would say be careful here. Maybe a screen pass, a high percentage play. You don't want to put your offense in a bad spot. 3rd and 9 for the Wolfpack. Moving out to his left. Finds a man. Did he catch it? It hit the turf first. Stewart went after it. He dropped it.
Incomplete.
Not the greatest pass in the world, Kara, but you'd like to see your wide receiver kind of run back for that ball a little bit more to make that catch. Either way, it's 4th and 9 for the Wolfpack.
Henry Helms on the kick. Lim and Florence back deep for the Cadets.
I also can't.
It's a kick for the Cadets. It's going to go out of bounds.
Puck bounces out. The Wolfpack 47.
It'll be spotted at the 46, so the Cadets are 54 yards away from the end zone. We'll stick with the action. It's 7-0 Wolfpack. That was a big stop by the Cadets. They forced the Wolfpack out of their strengths, out of their comfort zone, and forced Petro into a tough spot on the pass. Shotgun formation. Prell in the backfield. Looks over to his right.
Prell's pass incomplete, intended for 27.
As he tried to get it over to Hoffman, but in the dirt it goes. 2nd and 10 at the 46.
Second and 10 from the Wolfpack 46.
Prell. Actually, it's Wildcat to Lesher, and Lesher gets a lot of yardage on the Wildcat.
And the Wildcat.
He gets past the 35-yard line.
Doyle on the tackle.
And it'll be a gain of 11, 1st and 10 for the Cadets.
At the Wolfpack 34.
It's their best drive of the night thus far from Marmion. The Cadets looking to tie this one up. In fact, if they score a touchdown here, I would not be shocked if they went for 2 to get the lead and make St. Ignatius think about it a little bit. Get the lead, even if it's only 1 point, just to get the Wolfpack to think a little bit about it, get some momentum for their offense. Another Wildcat to Lesher. This time it's a short gain. Good job on the pursuit by the Wolfpack. On there was Emmett Callahan, the linebacker.
On the tackle.
And slow to get up is the tailback in Lesher.
Lim on the carry.
Holding the ankle, and you hate to see it, Kara, but injuries are a part of the game. Lesher is slow to get up. We will take a break. You're watching the Cadets against the Wolfpack here on SBS.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marmion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast...
Back to the action at beautiful Fort Nelly Field. Kyle Smith alongside with KL from Big Ten Network. 7-0 SICP. Difference in this game, a 79-yard touchdown run by the quarterback of St. Ignatius. Cadets have it. Lesher. Still in the game. So it must have been another number. He's supposed to be out for at least one play. He had a cramp on the field. Prell looks to his right. Good pass. And he got it out to Flores, and Flores will get the first down.
Prell's pass to Flores complete.
We haven't seen that consistency from Prell tonight, but when they really needed it, right in stride, right in rhythm over to Flores, 1st and 10 for the Cadets.
And a little off balance too, off of that back foot, but still the athleticism and the core strength to be able to connect with his receiver.
15-yard line.
It'll be at the Wolfpack 15, 1st and 10 for the Cadets as they are driving. The spread offense, you're going to see Prell under shotgun a lot tonight, if not the entire game. False start against Marmion, and St. Ignatius desperately needed that. They're on their back heels most of this drive.
False start on the Cadets, backs them up 5, 1st down and 15.
All right, Kara, you're only down 7. You're in field goal range. If it gets to 4th down, is it 4-down territory, or are you fine kicking for 3? You're at the 20 right now, 1st and 15.
I'll take that to you, Kyle.
I would kick, because only 7-point difference. Fumbled snap, Wolfpack, get it! Rugai got it, boy, Marmion does it again. All they got to do is get the snaps, Kara, and a fumble snap off a shotgun. You just can't have it if you're Ryan Prell. I don't want to be too mean, but Kara, you gotta handle that snap.
Just something that continues to plague this team, and this is one area that they really wanted to focus on coming into this game, was taking care of the ball for a lot of different reasons against a team like St. Ignatius, but you're not going to be able to get on the scoreboard if you can't hold on to the football.
Especially under shotgun. I mean, really, that's on the quarterback. Unless it's like a high snap or at his ankles, quarterback's got to have that because you practice that all week.
And it might be at the forefront of your mind where you're thinking, don't fumble the ball, don't drop the ball, and what do? You drop the ball, so it's a mental mistake,
or
I think,
thinking pass before you got the ball first. Run play out to the right, and the Wolfpack get the first down. What a killer for the Cadets. Both teams struggling holding on to that ball. We're going to have to check the balls at halftime, make sure they're not accidentally putting oil on them or something. We saw a fumbled punt by Bloss, a fumbled snap by Prell. And the Wolfpack still have the shutout. They run it up the gut to Bloss. Actually, it's to Kemp, and 2nd and long coming up for the Wolfpack. Clock continues to run.
2nd and 6 from the Wolfpack 44.
So they'll put 2nd and 6 on the Jumbotron at the Wolfpack 44. Possession arrow to SICP. Petro still has it, still on his feet. Past the 40, past the 30. He's got nothing but green grass in front of him. Touchdown, Petro! Deja vu all over again. This time it's 56 yards. You know what, Justin Fields, don't even pass the ball. Just take Jack Petro's example. Quarterback sneak every time, baby, and the Bears are winning on Sunday Night Football.
And again, that breakaway speed coming from Petro. Once he gets into the open field, he has you beat within the first 5 steps. And the acceleration, he can go the whole length of the field, doing it all for his team tonight on homecoming.
Helms on the kick.
Helms to make it 14-0. Kick is up, and it's good. Wolfpack lead 14-0 as we go to break here on SBS, a broadcasting network for anyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede.
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marmion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. But my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swam 50
Back to the action at beautiful Fornelli Field. Kyle Smith alongside KL. Jake Petro with 2 runs over 50 yards, and that's the difference tonight. Wolfpack lead by 14. Henry Helms fakes, gets his team ready, and he'll do it again. Kick past the 10, and inside the Marmion end zone, automatic touchback awarded to the Cadets. Cadet possession at their own 20. Wow. Jake Petro. He doesn't have the arms sometimes, but he certainly has the legs, and running the triple option. In my opinion, nobody does it better in the IHSA at the triple option than Jake Petro.
And, you know, the way that he can read plays as well, but the acceleration from that player, and also the capability to get it done early in the game. And you want that type of leadership as you end your home game before you go on a 3-game road swing for St. Ignatius. But I think Petro is giving his team an uber amount of confidence today.
The Marmion Cadets are going to have to come back from behind. Screen pass out to the left.
Pass complete to number 81.
He gets it out to his tight end as he got it over to Bostran, but didn't get much. I don't know about that play call, Kara. I don't know if I want to do a screen pass to my tight end. Tight end, some can run, but a lot of them are more for their blocking. Screen pass, you want to have your fastest guy out on the edge. I don't know if that was going to be a fast enough developing play.
And Ryan Prell just got a lot of pressure in the backfield too, so rushed to make that decision.
Another injury for the Cadets. We'll wait on a number. You hate to see it. We'll stick with the action. It's just a really good Wolfpack team. And Kara, this is a Wolfpack team. They didn't have football for 40 years. They brought it back in 2003. Hadn't won a playoff game since last year. You wouldn't notice it on this gridiron. They have just dominated a very good program in the Cadets thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. And it started from the first play, that first kickoff return here for St. Ignatius, and they've kept their foot on the gas pedal when it comes to the offense. And Marmion having some difficulty getting points on the board. That's been a constant theme in the past 2 weeks now.
It also doesn't help when you continuously have injuries. Injuries are going to happen, of course, but you got to give credit to this Wolfpack defense. They're ferocious. They get low on the tackles. Bostran is the injured cadet. It's going to be tough for the Cadets, but listen, look, they had the Wolfpack on the ropes. Sometimes football can be a simple game when you can't hang on to the football. I mean, that's the difference in the game.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't fumble that snap, you might have gotten 6 points. It's now 14-7. Instead, you fumbled it. Wolfpack went the other way on a 56-yard rushing.
You're putting
touch.
a lot of responsibility and pressure on your defense to be able to come up with stops, you know, against such a powerful offense that you have in St. Ignatius, and that possession clock is going to be working against you now with your back up against the wall.
Need 14 points to tie. Cadets have had their chances, including a fumbled punt by Bloss. They've had the ball past midfield a couple of times, but the Cadets still scoreless tonight. Prell in the backfield. He looks deep. Coverage is there. And it's a one-handed pass, one-handed reception attempt, and it was dropped by Hoffman. He plays a little SC/DB. He's from St. Peter, Geneva.
Good coverage by the defensive back as well, being able to match his speed, and that 1v1 matchup not working for Marmion.
Partner, you'd hate to punt it back to St. Ignatius again, but unless you can get 5 or so yards, I don't see going for it on 4th and 10 is an option here. The problem is, do you trust your defense to stop the Wolfpack? You haven't seen much from the Cadet defense that they can stop St. Ignatius.
Not at all.
4 wide receivers set, 3 to the right. Fakes the pass. Good decision by Prell. 1st and 10 and more for Marmion. Prell took his time, looked at the second read, and completed it over to Yarwood. Wow, that was big for the Cadets.
Gain of 14. First down for the Cadets at their own 38-yard line.
But once again, Kara, even a big-time completion for the Cadets. That was Prell on his back foot, and that was his second read. It wasn't his first read.
Yeah, I mean, this player has been really throwing off balance on that back foot. Still kept that play alive with 3 rushers right in his face. Is able to connect and get a first down.
Yarwood on the first down at the 38. It's a draw play to Flores, slow developing play, and didn't get much on the rush.
Callahan on the stop.
Callahan credited with the tackle. In fact, he didn't get any yardage. 2nd and 10 at the 38. All right, partner, if you're the Cadets, do you want to run as much clock as possible so you make sure that the Wolfpack don't get it with a lot of time left?
I think you can, but the important for them, they got to hold on to the ball right. So I think if the most important thing right now for this team, take care of all the details, keep possession of the ball, and keep pushing this field or keep pushing this play downfield yard by yard.
On the field.
Timeout called by the Cadets. They have 2 left. We'll take a break. It's Cadets 0, Wolfpack 14 here on SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics. And we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
You are requested to return.
2nd and 10 for the Cadets. Prell off the timeout. We'll see what he does here. Out to the right. Big hit, short of the first down marker. 3rd and short coming up for the Cadets. He found Flores.
Number 20, Jack Matthews.
Sorry, that was Jack Matthews.
Gain of 8.
3rd and 2 coming up for the Cadets.
From the Cadet 46-yard line.
And unless it's a sack, you would assume they want to go for it. Mateo Jones will take a seat. Henry Helms pointing out the coverage for his teammates. Prell under center. 1 in the backfield. Fakes the jet sweep. Hand up off the middle. And the 2nd attempt goes for the first down for the Cadets. A couple of players coming into the game for St. Ignatius.
Gain of 5.
It's Ugbana as well as Jake Rothgerty.
Wolfpack 49.
And partner, it just seems like everything is easy for the Wolfpack right now. Everything seems so difficult for the Cadets. Handoff, off the middle. They run it off the right guard. Gets over 4 yards. We'll mark it at the 45.
Gain of 4.
Remember, the clock stops on a first down, so you don't have to call your timeouts yet. 2 remaining for Marmion, 3 remaining for St. Ignatius. Marmion taking their time, no sense of urgency yet, as they've got plenty of time remaining.
Just want to get your breath underneath you and your feet underneath you, especially when you have so many good possessions here, play to play, getting up the field.
They're going to split the wide receivers, 1 in the slot, as Flores moves back near Prell, and they run it off the shotgun. Didn't get much.
6, Lesher on the carry. Callahan on the tackle.
Lesh on the carry, as Lesher didn't get anything.
3rd down and 6 from the Wolfpack 45.
3rd and 6 of the 45. Justin Scott creating havoc on the defensive line. 2 substitutions in for the Wolfpack. Three wide receivers to Prell's left. He looks left, finds a man. Oh, it's dropped. Oh, boy. Christopher Yarwood right in the breadbasket, and he dropped it.
Brings up 4th down.
It's right on the money, Carey. You got to catch the ball.
Now you got to keep your eye on that ball when it goes into your gloves. Good opportunity, though, too. He had open field for a couple more yards after that reception. That really took the wind out of their sails here to close out the second quarter.
Punt formation for the Cadets. Almost blocked it. It is. Ball live. St. Ignatius with a special team specialty. Blocked punt. Oh, it's a backbreaker against the Cadets. Alex Deach with the recovery and the block. 1st and 10 coming up for the Wolfpack inside the 30. Who are we going to blame on that one? I think it's a combination, a missed blocking assignment, but the punter's got to be quicker on that punt. You can't take forever punting the ball like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, the speed of execution, right, when you're looking at the way your offense is running and also your special teams.
The original spot is going to actually be at the 33. Possession arrow to the Wolfpack. 1st and 10 at the 33. Wolfpack looking to make it 21-0 if they can score a TD. Remember, they've got all 3 timeouts left. One in the backfield. Bloss in motion. Petro looking to pass. Clean pocket. Looking downfield. Looking for Stewart. Stewart catches it. And he's just short of the end zone. What a play by Petro. The quarterback stealing the show tonight for the Wolfpack. 1st and goal at the 1. Aaron Stewart, his favorite connection, and it was like that on that play. The Wolfpack looking to make it hurt on the Cadets defense. 1st and goal coming up. That's the problem, partner, with that triple option. You sucker in the linebackers, and then eventually you get one-on-one coverage down the field. Big-time pitch and catch from Petro over to Stewart.
Heck of a catch right at the pylon, right in the corner of the field, and grabbed onto the ball, too, when he was coming down from that reception. That's a big play at this point in the game, too. Now you're really taking command of this game going into halftime.
Petro, false start against the Wolfpack.
False start against the Wolfpack. Backs us up 5.
I think that's a little bit of you're getting a little too cute with it. It's 1st and goal at the 1. You don't need to do a quick snap count. Just snap the ball, hand it off. Now it's a break for the Cadets. Somewhat of a break.
They're feeling it.
The Cadets will take it, but still, they're still not in a good spot. It's 1st and goal at the 6. The Wolfpack can bleed the clock because they have 3 timeouts. So the Cadets will most likely not get it back unless the Cadets score. Unless the Wolfpack score in the next couple of plays. Petro, under center, they run the jumbo set. Bloss in motion, over to Rugai. Penetration up front. Rugai falls forward inside the 5. They'll mark it at the 2. 2nd and goal at the 2 with under 1:10 to go. I'd be shocked if you don't run Petro again. He's been so dominant on those quarterback sneaks. He's also got that big 6'4" frame. Petro under center. Rugai in the backfield. They switch the formations. Over to Rugai, untouched. Touchdown, St. Ignatius. It's 20-0. That's just overpowering from the offensive line. Untouched into the end zone, Kara. That was easy.
And at this point, you're going to have to look at the defense for Marmion, right? They're going to get gassed by the start of the 3rd quarter. Can't even make any contact at this line of scrimmage against this St. Ignatius team. So much power coming from the Wolfpack.
It's 20-0 SICP against the mighty Cadets. But the Wolfpack have been mightier tonight. It's good by Helms. He's 3 for 3 on extra points, 0 for 1 on field goals. We'll take a quick break. It's 21-0 SICP here on SBS.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
$21-0. Well, my prediction was 28-21. I got the 21 right. So far, the Marmion Cadets are scoreless.
Yeah, now at this point, if you're Marmion, you just want to be able to get in halftime, get inside that locker room, make the adjustments quickly, and you have to start tight at the start of the third quarter. Make sure everything's buttoned up.
Return by the Cadets. They still have time to make some noise. Didn't get much. Flores sent to the turf that time by Alex Deach. Great defense by the Wolfpack on special teams. They've got a block punt as well, which led to 6.
Correction, 17-yard line.
Rugai's got a touchdown, 2 for Petro. All of their touchdowns are via the rush, although they almost had a passing touchdown. Stewart was brought down at the 1. First and 10 for the Cadets at the 17. If you want, you can be aggressive, Kara, but I wouldn't be surprised if you just take a knee and go into halftime down by 21.
Stop the bleeding, get inside that huddle, and you're 10 and halftime. Get with your coaches, figure out what you need to do.
They're going to pass. Prell looks to his right, screen pass. And they drop it off past the 20, just outside of the 25. They're going to go no huddle. They're going to see if they can get close to midfield, then they'll start calling timeouts, but they got to hurry. 15 seconds remaining on the clock, and now Prell will slow it down. And now I don't really know what they're doing, as if you wanted to just go into halftime, you would have just not run another play. They will run one more. Prell to the right. Big time hit. Deach on the tackle. And the Wolfpack have even more momentum going into halftime. That was a big time hit by Deach. It was all Wolfpack in the first half. 21-0 SICP as we go to break. Kara, final thoughts before we regroup and give you some halftime analysis in the next couple of minutes.
St. Ignatius started this game off wonderfully in that first kickoff return, and then when you look at the quarterback and what he's been able to do for this team, they've carried that into the first 2 quarters, and now they're rolling hard.
Cadets down 21. We'll see what Dan Thorpe and the Cadets do at halftime for adjustments. We'll take a break. We'll be back in 5. It's 21-0 Wolfpack here on SBS.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede.
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marmion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. But my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense. And Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot, and it's goal! So 3-3. The power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. We broadcast sporting events for people of all ages, including adult leagues, high school leagues, and kids. Complete with professional-looking graphics, broadcasters, color analysis, and commercials. We do pre- and post-game interviews with the players. In addition, Sports Broadcast Solutions does highlight films, including college recruiting reels, highlight films you'd see on sports news programs, and just simply highlight films for fun. Sports Broadcast Solutions also provides raw footage and live streams if you'd like. Subscribe to us and listen to our professional talk videos about relevant topics in the pro and college ranks. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, contact us at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital world.
Made from an athlete's mind for all sports minds. Level Up Branding is a unique sports marketing and branding agency, offering athlete management, brand management, and so much more. We are powered by experience, currently serving athletes in the WNBA, MLR, NFL, and college sports. We are looking to take on more clients because everyone deserves a shot at their dream. Our goal is to help others by inspiring one person at a time. Level Up Branding was founded by Lauren, who was and still is an athlete. She understands the importance of being a well-rounded and built individual. It takes an athlete to know an athlete. We are built different. There is so much more to an athlete than what is seen on the field or the court. We make it a priority to understand our athletes. We want to know and understand our clients' values, motives, passions, and future goals. At Level Up Branding, we believe in helping others succeed. We believe in giving back. We believe in family. You are more than an athlete. Level Up Branding was founded based on the sheer passion of sports, community involvement, and the sense of belonging to a community. We were created from an athlete's innovative mindset and experience, and here to offer our services to like-minded athletes.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense. And Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot, and it's goal! So 3-3. The power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world.
My name is Rustin Broussard. I am the Math Department Chair here at St. Ignatius College Prep. I think one of the things that I like the most about being the Math Department Chair here is observing my other teachers and seeing them in action and promoting those skills and passion, ideas for classroom learning within the department. The second thing that I really appreciate in our department is that we offer several programs for students to study additional mathematics, to take more math in their 4 years here. Our students here at St. Ignatius will experience a variety of math classes, and it's dependent upon the student's readiness and desire to study math. Some of our students will begin in Algebra 1, some will begin in Geometry, some will begin in Algebra 2, and then the class progression will continue along with some students finishing in Pre-Calculus, others finishing in Calculus or Multivariable Calculus, or even differential equations. The additional offerings from our department in addition to classes would be a math team which competes against other schools in competitions for state and at regional level. Our department also offers an opportunity for students to be nominated to participate in a summer actuarial academy, and that is conducted by the University of DePaul here in Chicago, and it's a one-week opportunity to learn more about actuarial sciences. Our students will learn here in their math classes how to think, how to problem solve, how to use logic, and to make greater meaning of their world.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Stolen. O'Connor and Marsh back on defense, and Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot and a goal! So 3-3. The power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world.
My name is Rustin Broussard. I am the math department chair here at St. Ignatius College Prep. I think one of the things that I like the most about being the math department chair here is observing my other teachers and seeing them in action and promoting those skills and passion, ideas for classroom learning within the department. The second thing that I really appreciate in our department is that we offer several programs for students to study additional mathematics, to take more math in their 4 years here. Our students here at St. Ignatius will experience a variety of math classes, and it's dependent upon the student's readiness and desire to study math. Some of our students will begin in Algebra 1, some will begin in Geometry, some will begin in Algebra 2, and then the class progression will continue along with some students finishing in Pre-Calculus, others finishing in Calculus or Multivariable Calculus, or even differential equations. The additional offerings from our department in addition to classes would be a math team, which competes against other schools in competitions for state and at regional level. Our department also offers an opportunity for students to be nominated to participate in a summer actuarial academy, and that is conducted by the University of DePaul here in Chicago, and it's a one-week opportunity to learn more about actuarial sciences. Our students will learn here in their math classes how to think, how to problem solve, how to use logic, and to make greater meaning of their world.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Hey, this is Sarah Greenfalk, owner of PsychEdge. How would you like to learn how to manage your emotions and reactions in order to enhance your performance and be successful in life? I coach and counsel student athletes, performers, and professionals, giving them the mental skills and mindsets to build confidence and resilience. My background in physical therapy, massage therapy, personal training, and 15 years of counseling give my clients an advantage. So if you are wanting to be recruited, perform better, or struggling with life balance, anxiety, or depression symptoms, I will stand by you until we reach your goals. Contact me today, sarah@aimtogrow.com, and be sure to visit my website, psychedge.club, for your monthly blog on mental health, sport, and performance psychology tips.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, we also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Livestream and Instagram Live on our channel as well. Options include commercials from your sponsors, professional scoreboard graphics are still available, and of course, yes, pre- and post-game interviews are available as an option if you want.
We've been working really hard this whole summer and stuff.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede.
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Marmion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. Well, my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
The Wolfpack and the Cadets here on SBS. Kyle Smith alongside Kara Lentz. Kara, it's 21-0 in favor of SICP, and I don't see Marmion scoring 28 unanswered points. Crazier things have happened in the game of football, but I don't know. They're having so many problems, and it just comes down to the simplicity of the game. They can't even get the snaps. They're dropping passes. It's just not clean tonight on the offensive side of the ball.
I think you need a hard reset button, which you can have because you have 0 points on the board. So get that hard reset button, come out in the third quarter, and the way that they start in the tempo in the third quarter is going to be imperative if they can stay in this game. But they have to have a response to this offense, right? Defense is getting fatigued at this point as well, so Marmion has a big mountain to climb to start the third.
Well, I said St. Ignatius would win 28-21. I guess that's still a possibility, but wow. Jake Petro, I mean, he's got a chance. He's got the opportunity, Kara, to be an all-state quarterback. We're talking 79-yard touchdown run, 56-yard touchdown run against a decent Marmion team who's also 2-1. I get it, they're at home field advantage. You're in the city, you got the crazy skyline, you've got this whiteout student section, but every place you play is going to have different advantages, different disadvantages. It's not like Fornelli is completely great for St. Ignatius, bad for Marmion. You got to give the credit where credit is due. Jake Petro running this triple option is phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the way that he's able to read the plays, communicate with the coaching staff, execute the play. You know, he's hands down been the best player and athlete on the field today. And flashing back to that game last week against St. Lawrence, Connor Albert after the game said he really gave a lot of credit to the whole team effort that they had following that game. So I think when you look at the X factor really with St. Ignatius, you're starting to see those elements that they have with the confidence as a team on the defense, on the offense, the special teams as well. So that's starting to, I think, build up at this point in the season. I think it's a pivotal week 4, before they go on a 3-game road swing.
Well, they definitely need this win because Mount Carmel, they got to go on the road to play the Caravan. They would have preferred to be 4-0, assuming they can win tonight. Now, there's still time for the Cadets, but still 3-1 is good. And we've seen a lot of good stuff from the Wolfpack, but Kara fumbling that punt like that for Bloss, we got to avoid these fumbles. If you go inside the mindset of the Wolfpack, got to avoid the fumbles and the turnovers to win games against tougher opponents like the Caravan.
I mean, when you start to execute, on a high level and defensively, offensively, you can start to narrow in on the really small details about the miscues in the game. And that's just the process of playing the entirety of a season. You want to be playing your best football at the end of the season. This team, has the taste of getting to the playoffs loss in the second round last year, still hasn't made it to the quarterfinals, and that's certainly on their mind.
Went to the round of 16 last year, looking to go to the round of 8 this year. We'll find out if that'll be the case later on in the year. Meanwhile, we'll take a 12-second break. Second half coming up next between the Wolfpack and the Cadets here on SBS.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
Now the students getting into it, singing a little Queen, We Will Rock You. Trying to get into the minds of the cadets a little bit.
Yeah, it's the choir who's attending the game today. It's the entire school.
This is true. They got everything. They got the smoke and the whiteout.
I understand the white clothes now because of all the chalk smoke, right? So it's just
Is that really what it is? I thought they were trying to blind the cadets because the cadets are wearing the white.
I mean, they look like they have created their own tie-dyes because
Okay.
of all the colors. I'm jealous.
And sometimes you get blue on the white shirt because you bleached it accidentally.
Yeah, right. Or you bleed blue.
Yeah. 21-0 in favor of St. Ignatius. Kyle Smith alongside KL. If you missed any of the broadcast, just hit that rewind button or fast forward. You can watch it as many times as you'd like. Don't go anywhere. The post-game show brought to you by the St. Ignatius College Prep Athletics Department coming up after the game in conjunction with SBS. Helms on the kick. The cadets trailing by 21. It's a squib kick. Wolfpack go after it. Who got it? Wolfpack silent, and it's to the cadets. And Kara, I'm a little dumbfounded why the Wolfpack did that.
Onside kick attempted, recovered by the cadets. Number 54, Kevin Roach on the return.
Roach on the recovery, and I mean, I get it, kinda. You would get the ball back, and I think they're having clock problems. But they'll run the clock now for the Marmion cadets. I don't understand that play call. A squib kick. It's hard to call an onside because an onside, you try to get it towards the sideline. You get that clean hop off the turf.
Cadets begin their position at their own 46-yard line.
It was
First and 10.
It was a clean squib kick by the Wolfpack, recovered by the cadets. And now the cadets have great field position, down by 3 scores. Prell in the backfield for Marmion. It's completed to Lesher, and 3 defenders on the tackle.
Reception, Lawler and Kemp on the coverage.
Lawler and Kemp were there.
A gain of 5. Second and 5.
Second and 5 coming up for the cadets. Also there was Emmett Callahan. Kara, do you agree with that squib kick to begin the game, or are you also a little bit dumbfounded?
I think you're going to see everything being pulled out of the Rolodex today, right, Kyle? We saw different plays opening up with the opening pass to start the first quarter with a run-heavy team here in St. Ignatius.
They throw it out to Prell's left and incomplete.
Prell's pass, Prell's incomplete. Lawler.
Not a great pass, Kara, but you can understand it. He's putting it in a spot where only his wide receiver can get it. He's just a little bit behind the wide receiver. You'd like to get that pass more on the gloves, less towards the ankles.
And, you know, it's just about getting into rhythm with your receivers. When you've seen this Marmion team not really be in rhythm with each other, it comes and it goes, starting with that quarterback for Marmion. So can they get to that point where they can make a couple plays to drive downfield? The last drive they had of that second quarter was the best one they had all game.
Cadets in business, 3rd and 5 at the 49. Looking to his left, completed. The Wolfpack are there. A broken tackle briefly, and then the gang tackle by the Wolfpack stops him short of the sticks.
Short of the first down.
4th down for the cadets. I'd be shocked if they punt. You really need to get a first down and move the chains.
Dorado on the coverage. Brings up 4th down and 2.
So far, they're in punt formation. Ivan Erickson is deep for the cadets. Loss on the return for the Wolfpack. Cadets will punt. Erickson, decent hang time. Bloss yells out poison. And the ball just stops right at the 25, picked up by Marmion. Actually at the 15.
15-yard line.
They'll mark it actually at the 16. Well, the Wolfpack tried the squib kick, and it didn't work out, but they had confidence in their defense to get a stop. They get a stop. Did you like Marmion's decision to punt? I personally would have gone for it there.
I'll agree with you, Kyle. I'll agree with you today.
1st and 16 coming up for St. Ignatius. We've already seen The quarterback in Petro take it 79 yards to the house. They move Clement over to the left. Handoff up the middle. They give it to Kemp. He's still on his feet. Down the sideline. Past the 30. First and 10 coming up for St. Ignatius.
28.
Deja vu all over again, Kerr. It's like the first half continues on into the second half. It might be time, Kerr, to put 8 in the box, maybe even 9 in the box, for St. Ignatius to pass the football, as they just cannot stop the run. Pitch out to the left. That time the Cadets read it. And Connor stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Forward progress puts him back over the original line of scrimmage.
2nd and 9 at the Wolfpack 34.
They'll say 2nd and 9 at the 34. Under 10 minutes to go. Clock is a factor for Marmion. You got to score 3 times, which is why I was wondering why they didn't go for it. Ignatius is going to continue to run clock. They don't pass it a lot. They love running the football in the triple option. They run Rothgerty in motion. And now Deach in motion. Hand off to Kemp. Tackle for loss. Big time stop that time by the Cadets. On the tackle, Sean Check. He's a 6'3", 250-pound tackle and defensive tackle. 3rd and long coming up for St. Ignatius. Petro taking his time, looking at the sideline for the call from his head coach, Matt Miller. Miller is also the offensive coordinator and the play caller. Petro has 12 points on the night, 6 for Rugai, 3 for Helms. In the pocket, 3-step drop. Looks to the left, bad pass.
Pass intended for Deach, overthrown.
I'm not too sure about that play call, partner. An incomplete pass stops the clock. You like running the ball anyways. If you run the ball, it would have kept the clock running, giving the Cadets less time to go down the field. Would you have passed there, or would you have ran?
No, go with the run play. I mean, especially if you look at the field positioning here for St. Ignatius, just above their 30-yard line.
Yeah, incomplete pass. Petro's been a little erratic throwing the ball tonight. Big time stop for the Cadets. They'll get the ball back with the clock stopped. Helms shanked it, and it takes a Cadet hop past midfield into St. Ignatius territory.
Punt down by Callahan.
Callahan was able to catch it inside the 50. Marmion ball. Krell under center. They move the wide receiver and Matthews over to the left. Fakes the handoff. It's a misdirection draw play over to Lesher as he gets close to the 40.
Gain of 5.
Got 5 on the play.
Rugai on the stop. 2nd and 5 at the Wolfpack 41.
We'll do 2nd and 5 at the 41. Under 8 to go. Krell under center. He splits the wide receivers, one in the backfield. Handoff. Up the middle. Past the 35, close to the 30.
Lesher on the carry.
Lesher, a big-time carry.
On the stop.
Powering through the defense. Inside St. Ignatius territory, past the 35.
Wolfpack 32-yard line.
Substitutions coming to the bench for the Wolfpack. It'll be Sammy Bestry as well as Aguche Ogbana. Ball at the 32. Marmion driving, still scoreless on the night. They split the wide receivers again, one in the backfield. Shotgun snap. Krell, clean drop. He looks over to the right, completed over to Matthews.
Pass complete to Matthews.
And drilled out of bounds that time by Callahan. Kemp was there as well. 9 yards on the completion. Just a half yard short of the first down.
Second in the yard at the Wolfpack 23-yard line.
They're driving KL, but can they handle the snaps? We've already seen one fumbled snap tonight, 5 last week against Montini.
Well, this is really where it counts too, right? If you're driving down the field, open up the third quarter, you have to have the capability in that quarterback position to hang on to the ball, but Petro looks like he's in,
Another fumble! Confusion on the handoff. Ignatius goes after it, and they get it. Alex Deach gets it, and that might be the dagger against Marmion. Boy, did that hurt for the Cadet faithful.
Especially when they had some momentum going directly into the red zone. But you call that, Kyle. Have to keep those miscues out of the game, right?
You know, sometimes if you're having trouble with the snaps, you want to run the misdirections. You want to run the reverses. But if you're having trouble handling the snaps, do you have confidence that you can get the playoff? I don't know if you have confidence in your offensive line, your quarterback, to do that right now. 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack. Ball at the 16. Petro gets the ball, hands it off. Gets a couple of yards.
Kemp on the carry, a gain of 2.
2-yard gain for Kemp. Cadets are still in this one. In fact, they'd probably only be down a touchdown if they would just avoid the turnovers. They've just killed them today.
At the Wolfpack 17.
Just can't win football games when you give it back to the other team. Petro taking his time. That's what the Wolfpack like to do. Handoff. Didn't get much. The Cadets making the adjustments on defense. Petro's first option of the handoff, not getting much. This is a St. Ignatius team. They lost the opening week to St. Patrick. Looking to make it 3 in a row tonight if they can win. Marmion looking to avoid a 2-game losing streak to go back to 500. They have not been at 500 all season. Petro under center. They don't run shotgun in the triple option. 3rd down for the Wolfpack. Handoff. Stop short.
Kemp on the carry.
Kemp had a steam, but a good stop by the Cadets. And the Cadets get it back. So another 3 and out, you would assume, by the Cadets, although we did see a crazy squib kick by the Wolfpack up 21 points to begin the second half.
3. The Wolfpack 22. Helms on the kick.
2 men back on the punt coverage for the Marmion Cadets. They've got Flores as well as Hoffman.
For the Cadets.
Sorry, Matthews and Flores deep for the Cadets. What a beautiful night here in Chicago. It's been an awesome awesome fall thus far. Punt. It's a clean snap. Helms shanked it again. This time it takes a Wolfpack hop near midfield inside Cadets territory.
Punt is down at the Cadet 47-yard line.
What do you think it is with this Cadet offense? Every time they get close to the red zone, they're fumbling snaps. Is it a little bit of nerves? Are they not ready for the ball, or is it just kind of just bad breaks against the Cadets?
You know, I think it's a combination of all of that, and I also think when you start to have miscues in the earlier part of the game, then it becomes the mental aspect of it when you're stepping up to the line of scrimmage. But you have to get to those intermissions, get off the sideline, get with your coaching staff, and be able to make those adjustments as quickly as possible. And this game goes by quickly if you're Marmion going up a St. Ignatius team because of that time of possession.
Bostran, the intended receiver, dropped. 2nd and 10 for the Cadets.
2nd and 10 at the Cadet 48-yard line.
Just can't win turning the ball over. I still remember that Bears Super Bowl against the Colts. Rex Grossman fumbled it twice. Fumbled 2 snaps, actually. Just can't win the game doing that. And for Marmion, they've been on the doorstep. They just can't finish. See if they can do it on this drive. Prell, quick snap. Quick pass. Breaks through a tackle, gets past the original line of scrimmage, and then brought down out of bounds, that time by Callahan.
Speed of play there, too, by Marmion, and the yards after contact right on the sideline for the receiving team.
Marmion lost last season to St. Ignatius after having the lead. Tonight, they're down 21. Bad pass, didn't have a chance. You know what, though, partner? You got to take your shots. You know, you can only run the ball so many times. You got to take your shots. Looked like a lack of communication, though, between quarterback and wide receiver. Quarterback thought it was a fly route. Wide receiver thought he was coming back for the ball on a button hook.
Erickson on the punt. Deach back deep for the Wolfpack.
Cadets have good field position, can't do anything with it. Good snap. Erickson on the kick. It's a line drive kick. Takes a very good Marmion hop. They run after it, and they will catch the ball inside the 5, close to the 1.
Punt is down at the 1-yard line. Wolfpack begin their drive. First down and 99 from their own 1.
First and 10 for the Wolfpack at their own 1. You're up by 3 scores here, Kara. So if it's a bad snap or the pressure comes, you could theoretically take the safety if you want, because the safety wouldn't hurt you that much. Not saying you would do that, but if you get a bad snap, just take the safety, kick it back to the Cadets.
They haven't been happening very often, those bad snaps.
Not for St. Ignatius, but they have been happening for Marmion.
Yeah.
Right up the gut. Still on his feet. Oh, my goodness. Could it be a 99-yard run? Kemp still untouched at the 20, at the 10. 99 yards.
John Kemp.
Wow. That's the dagger upon the dagger against Marmion. 99 yards right after Marmion got him inside the 5. The route is on at Fornelli Field, and it's led by Petro and Kemp.
Touchdown. Excessive celebration on the sideline of the Wolfpack.
Ah, come on. Don't do excessive celebration. All right. Well, if it is, it is, but let the kids have some fun. That's my opinion. I mean, how many times are you going to see a 99-yard touchdown?
I mean, look at the student section.
They're quiet.
They should be getting flags all over the place for excessive celebration.
99 yards. You know, on a pass completion in the NFL, you know how long the NFL's been around, over 100 years. It's only happened like 10 times for a pass. And I don't know how many times on a run, but I would assume it's even less than a pass. Snap is good, kick is good. 28-0 SICP. We'll take a break here on SBS, the broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
$28-0 SICP. Marmion on the return, unless the Wolfpack want to do another squib/onside kick. And the PA announcer announced it as you would expect. That's the longest touchdown in Wolfpack history. In fact, that's the longest touchdown you can ever get in a high school game. Fumble. When it rains, it pours, and that's what's happening right now to Marmion. A fumbled punt. It's all Wolfpack tonight.
Yarwood on the return.
Partner, this is impressive. I know they're at home. They've got the home field advantage, but still 28-0 and a 99-yard touchdown run to boot.
And there's still plenty of football to be played too, Kyle. This game's far from over in regards to St. Ignatius racking up the points.
13 on the stop.
Well, partner, for the Cadets, as they have the possession arrow, you got to score quickly, and you're running out of time, so you got to score, and then you got to do an onside kick to get back in this game. They run it off the left guard. First down and more for the Cadets.
Lesher on the carry, a gain of 15.
If you're the Wolfpack, you could bring the safeties back a little bit and the linebackers because the field goal doesn't hurt you. Only way the Cadets can come back in this game is 4 touchdowns and 4 extra points. This is just a complete team effort by the Wolfpack. You got Petro with 2 touchdowns over 50 yards. You got a 99-yard touchdown from John Kemp, a block punt. It's all Wolfpack tonight. Handoff. Didn't get much. Defense is there for the Wolfpack. By the way, this would be their first shutout of the season. No, I apologize. They shut out Rufus King 49-0. Beat St. Lawrence 19-14. St. Lawrence scored 2 touchdowns, obviously, but only one of those touchdowns was on offense. And now they're 14 minutes away from another shutout. So if you include all 3 games, assuming the Wolfpack can finish off the shutout partner, they've only given up 1 defensive touchdown in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. You know, at this point in the season, too, you really start to work on the things you're good at, but really start to hone in on your weaknesses. And St. Ignatius is doing everything they can to make sure they make that playoff.
Well, Mount Carmel got embarrassed last year. The Wolfpack play Mount Carmel next week. I'm sure Mount Carmel did not enjoy that beat down here at Fornelli last year. But I don't know, partner. I know it's a different year. This time Mount Carmel gets it at their place.
Mm-hmm.
But can you see any team beating the Wolfpack this year? This triple option is unbelievable.
I think when you have the ability to stop this team, it has to start in the first quarter. You really can't let them get any momentum or get up on the scoreboard and the numbers that they can before you even get in half. You'll be playing catch up for the last 2 quarters.
You got to have linebackers that are like 250 pounds or something that can bring down Petro. And then when Petro doesn't do the quarterback sneak, then he hands it off to Rugai, who, by the way, is 50 yards or so away from the school record for rushing yards. Rugai's had a good game today. We just haven't talked about him because Kemp's got the 99-yarder. Petro's got the 79-yarder.
Alex Deach back deep for the Wolfpack.
And this is not a bad Marmion defense, by the way. They've just been destroyed like other teams have most of the year by the Wolfpack. Very good hang time, and this time Deach will call for the fair catch.
Drive at their own 21-yard line.
And they'll mark it at the 21. Petro remains in the game. Would you play Petro in the 4th quarter knowing this game is pretty much over?
Maybe for the first drive. Maybe.
You don't have to do, yeah, I mean, you could play him because if you don't have to do quarterback sneaks, you could just hand the ball off the rest of the game. They'll pitch it out to the right. And it's another big gain for the Wolfpack. That time they pitch it out to Brennan Doneth from Sacred Heart, Hardy Prep.
11, good for a first down.
Dangerous play call, though. You don't want your quarterback to take a beating like that on the pitch, but He's a big guy. He can take the hits.
32-yard line.
And you know, as a head coach, you just can't coach being scared. But game is somewhat out of reach now if you want. When the fourth quarter starts, you could take Petro out of the game and get ready for next week against Mount Carmel. The backup, if you're wondering, is David Zamora. They hand it off up the middle.
Boyle on the carry.
And that will do it for the third quarter. It's Wolfpack 28.
From the Wolfpack.
Cadets nothing here on SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede.
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marmion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com.
It's 28-0 SICP here on SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
It's now 2nd and 8 from the 34.
2nd and 8 for the Wolfpack at their own 34. Clock will run if it gets to 40-0 or worse. Petro still under center, quarterback sneak. And he's brought down by the Cadets.
Petro on the keeper, back out to the 36.
On the tackle was Kevin Roach Jr., who recovered the onside kick. Cadets have had multiple chances, but they've fumbled the snaps and had their problems with turnovers. I still think this is a good Marmion team, Kara, but they've got to fix this in practice with the fumbled snaps and the fumbled handoffs.
Yeah, you don't want those mistakes or weaknesses start to become too much of a theme as you go throughout the course of your season. Started the season off hot, 2-0, big blowout games too for this team. So they had a lot of hope coming into today's game to be able to reverse their season in game 4, right? Week 4 before they could attack the second half of their season.
I mean, they went to the playoffs last year. That was a story last year with Danny Chung at quarterback. 2 interceptions.
For Wolfpack, first down.
Nazareth scored twice, 2 touchdowns on those interceptions by Danny Chung, and that's where we stand right now. Marmion fumbling the football, taking away points that could have been on the board.
First and 10 for the Wolfpack at their own 44.
Just hasn't been good for Marmion tonight. But they can make the adjustments later in the season. Jet sweep with room to run. He's got a blocker in front, still on his feet. One man to beat, cuts back to the middle. Touchdown, Deach. Touchdown, Wolfpack. The exclamation mark on a shutout victory possibly for the Wolfpack. It's just fun to watch, isn't it? It's like watching Madden if you could run the triple option in Madden.
It looks so easy too, right, Kyle? It is fun to watch. The explosiveness of these players when they get into the open field, but also that breakaway speed. I mean, the secondary, not only in the pass game from Marmion, not able to break up some of these passes, but just to tackle in the deep backfield. Again, it's a St. Ignatius team that is just overpowering at this point with 35-zip lead.
We'll take a quick break. It's Wolfpack 35, Cadets nothing here on SBS.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, we also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Live Stream.
By Alex Deach.
All right, so we've got two 56-yard runs. We've got a 79-yarder. We've got a 99-yarder. All the plays over 50 yards. Picked up at the 10 by the Cadets. Big time hit. Powering his way through.
Yearwood on the return.
And a huge hit delivered by Sam Opa-Yui.
Well, if you're looking to get any momentum started here in the fourth quarter, that's going to take it right out of you, Kyle.
I mean, it might be time for Marmion to throw the white flag. They've got 4 quarterbacks on the roster: Ryan Prell, Alfonso Barraza, Gavin Burt, and Henry Garrison. And they're indeed going to throw the white flag. Henry Garrison, the backup tonight, will take the snaps. And Parter, I don't disagree with Dan Thorpe's decision. It just wasn't the Cadets' night tonight. Two running backs in the backfield. Misdirection play as they go right up the middle that time with Muckerheide.
Muckerheide on the carry.
This is impressive. 49-0 win over Rufus King. It was a tight one last week against St. Lawrence. Some of that was St. Ignatius' own doing on the fumbles. They win 19-14 last week, and now 35-0 with all 5 of the touchdowns over 50 yards. 2 in the backfield, they split them. Both of them were right next to Garrison, didn't get much on the run. Another great pursuit by the Wolfpack. And now the bench players coming into play for St. Ignatius.
Jacob Nelson on the carry, Callahan on the stop.
Thomas Anderson into the game now.
Gain of a yard, 3rd down and 7. Get at 27-yard line.
Well, Parter, what you could do is you could run some plays you don't normally run, try to get some reps with it, see if you like the plays.
It's a good time to utilize those, especially with 10 minutes left on the clock before you go in to your 3-game road swing. And I think we saw St. Ignatius do that at the start of this game, too. So certainly taking this as almost a practice. And when you look at the score, it might as well be that.
I mean, St. Ignatius could be winning more. Remember, they did that onside kick. Off the chest.
Pass intended for number 80.
You know, in football, it's been said many times, the quarterback gets too much of the blame, too much of the credit. This loss really isn't on the quarterback so much, although Ryan Prell should have been better with some of the passes, shouldn't have had that fumbled snap. This really was just a team loss. You win as a team, you lose as a team. St. Ignatius was just a better team tonight.
Now you got to go back, lick your wounds, and figure out a better way to come back from these losses and generate some offense.
High arching kick. That's the one thing that the Marmion's been good tonight with the hang time on the punts. Late flag. Sideline judge with the flag.
At the 38-yard line. There's a flag on the play.
We have not seen a lot of yellow laundry tonight. The officials have let them play for the most part. Except the sideline warning on a 99-yard touchdown run. Come on now, let the kids be kids. Are you a John Denver fan, Kara? No?
Do you really want me to answer that question?
Yes, truthfully.
Do you know what his real name is?
No.
John Duchendorf.
John who?
Duchendorf.
Schuchendorf?
Duchendorf.
Duchendorf?
He went to high school with my father. They dated the same girl in the summer.
That's a cooler name than John Denver.
He wanted to be an electrical engineer.
Didn't know.
Went to his college his first year, came back, had a guitar, and then the rest is history. Are you a John Denver fan, Kyle?
Who is it? I mean, come on now.
Hey, I got ties, you know.
Handoff up the middle. You know, I got a great John Denver story as this game's starting to get away from the Cadets. One of my first jobs out of college, we did karaoke after our broadcast. And the guys asked me, what song are you going to sing at karaoke, Kyle? It's a surprise, but it's one of the songs I'm very good at.
Uh-oh.
And then I sang Country Boy at the karaoke bar.
And did you get a return audience for the following?
I did.
No.
Well, I used to sing in high school.
Oh.
Handoff up the middle. And they asked me, do you like John Denver? And I was like, well, yeah, who doesn't? I mean, you're not an American if you don't like John Denver.
I mean, I'm the youngest of two. Excuse me, I'm the youngest of three. My parents are a bit older than my peers, so, I grew up on folk.
Have you ever seen the movie Son-in-Law?
I have not.
It's not that good. Okay. But there's a famous
scene. Great promo, Kyle. Great promo.
There's a famous scene from Pauly Shore where he gets in the tractor, doesn't know what he's doing. He's never heard of John Denver before because he grew up in Las Vegas. Went to school out in L.A. And he puts on Thank God I'm a Country Boy. And he loves it. He's just getting into it. He's starting to understand the words. Never heard of John Denver in his life. The movie takes place in South Dakota, and he's like, Billy Ray Cyrus, eat your heart out. One of Pauly Shore's few good movies.
Yeah, well, could count them on less than one hand.
What was another good one? It was him. It was he. If I use good English, it was he and Sean Astin. They were in a movie with a caveman. I can't remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Encino Man. Yeah, it's a one-time watch. After you've seen it once, don't ever watch it again. But the first time, it's pretty good.
And your game research, Kyle, is on point.
I can just name movies at the drop of a hat.
Yeah,
If you're a big fan,
I see that on your spot sheet too.
Yeah.
Movies to mention.
Gain of 2, second and 8. From the Wolfpack 46.
There's a famous guy from the show Family Guy, where like he's kind of lost in his career, so he becomes a guy that's like memorized every plot of every movie. And sometimes I kind of can relate to that guy because I know way too many movies that I shouldn't. Up the middle again. Well, partner, Mama said there'd be days like this. Mama said, and that's definitely happened for Marmion Academy tonight.
Down in 5 from the Wolfpack 49.
Are you a karaoke singer, Kara?
Nope.
No?
But I am, I do like to dance, but not at karaoke bars.
Dance Revolution, are you good?
No, not like competitive dancing, like for fun.
Like dancing after a couple malt-based beverages?
Oh gosh, that's
implied, obviously.
That's just summer in Chicago, right?
Are you the best dancer at weddings?
You know what? You'll have to see me in action one time.
I will. I will bring the camcorder.
I will say that I am a hit.
We'll stream it live on SBS. We'll have play-by-play commentary of it.
Right.
I'll call up Jason Benetti. He'll do the play-by-play. Stone on the color. What's your go-to dance?
The type of dance?
Yeah, Soulja Boy?
No.
No?
No, I improvise. I don't do...
You don't have a go-to song?
No, I mean, here's the thing. Also, you have to look at, locker room culture. Like, you kind of have a little team dance that you do to certain songs. That would be the most prescribed type of dance I would do.
Okay.
Fair enough. You?
Under center. Wolfpack just bleeding the...
You like the Macarena, I know it.
Everybody loves the Macarena.
It's a general statement.
I mean, I do them all. Cha-cha slide. You gotta. I mean, when you're at a wedding, you gotta do Soulja Boy at least once.
No. I don't know. If that's played at a wedding, I think that's a bad DJ.
That's when you go get a drink.
No.
That's drink time.
That might be. Where's the shuttle bus back to the hotel time?
Petro's day is done. Limping back to the sideline is Declan Boyle. Taking the snaps now is George Lewis. Surprising they didn't go to Zamora. Nope. It's not George Lewis. It is Zamora. Lewis was in the position where the quarterback is, so Zamora kind of hid in the middle of the huddle there. And still on his feet. Zamora with it, brought down from behind.
Zamora On the keeper, a gain of 13.
Looking for the horse collar, didn't get called. I mean, partner, this is a St. Ignatius team. We were at the Rufus King game a couple games ago.
Number 4.
The backup quarterback had a touchdown run over 40 yards. Everybody scores. It's like Pop Warner football. You get a juice box, and you get a juice box. You get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown, and you get an orange slice.
First and 10 for the Wolfpack at the Cadet 30-yard line.
Are you more of an orange slice or an apple slice, Gal?
Oh my goodness, this is like
Sophie's choice.
This is quite the questionnaire. I feel like this is like a dating profile. Do you prefer oranges or apples? You know, I'm probably gonna have to go with both.
You can't do both. You
Yes.
gotta pick.
It's called a smoothie.
Celery or carrots?
You mean I like veggies and fruit.
If you have hot wings, is it celery or carrots or both?
Well, it depends on what they serve.
With the hot wings, you know, you get ranch
Yeah,
dressing and hot
I
wings?
know. I'll tell you this: it's blue cheese over ranch.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I can't do the veggies. I'll tell you the type of dressing though.
Zamora hands it off. Actually, no, it's quarterback sneak, still on his feet. The Cadets going after the ball.
First down.
Well, in the words of Bill Belichick for the Cadets, this might be one of those games of we're on to Cincinnati.
First and 10 for
It's just one of those games, right? You just shake it off.
Well, they've had to do that for the past 2 games.
This is true.
So they have to fix something that's going to enable this team to get back into the season. It's gut check time.
Well, football is a complicated game, but it can get very simplified if you're turning the ball over. You can't win games when you're turning the ball over unless you got Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Handoff up the middle. Now they're using Opa Yui that time at tailback. It's all over but the cry, and St. Ignatius is going to win this game. Now we're just going to find out what the final score is.
Down to the Cadet 12-yard line.
This is an absolute beatdown here at Fornelli Field.
Harley Craner on the stop.
Well, if you're a Wolfpack fan, you've had a heck of a time. If you're a Cadet fan, well, you probably stopped watching after the third quarter. Run up the middle. Last call for the text line. Your favorite high school, college, or NFL memory. Text 330-957-7653.
At the Cadet 11-yard line.
I like the sportsmanship by the Wolfpack. No need to run as many plays as possible. Just let the clock run and shake hands. If there was ever an injury to Petro, I would still feel pretty confident with Zamora taking the snaps. He's looked pretty good the last couple of games at backup QB for the Wolfpack. Obviously, Petro has him on size. Zamora is just 5'8". Zamora takes a knee.
Victory formation for the Wolfpack.
And that should do it for the game.
By quarterback Dave Zamora.
Don't go anywhere. The post-game show brought to you by SBS and St. Ignatius College Prep. Coming up next, Carol Lentz on the interview. That will indeed do it. Wolfpack win 35-0 over the Cadets. They entered halftime up by 21. They score 14 in the second half. It was all Wolfpack tonight.
Dominant performance all the way down to the end, but also the capability to get some new players in the game in the fourth quarter, run some different plays. That's going to give you a lot of confidence in regards to your whole team effort and performance as you head on the road next weekend.
Well, there's always good things that happen in a football game. What were some of the good things that you saw from Marmion tonight as they go into their next week?
Well, I thought they were able to string some nice plays together at the end of the third quarter there to get some momentum, but it just wasn't consistent enough. And then you just have to have some confidence. You have to be able to fix those mixed cues. Not many positives to come away from Marmion, but really that game was decided in the first quarter, Kyle.
They got to fix that, and they might have to not rely so much on the misdirections and the reverses because they're just having trouble holding on to the football. The more complicated the play calls get, it's just been tough for them to hold on to the pigskin.
And it's going to be, you have to set the tone in practice when you come back to the gridiron next week. That first 2 days of practice, it's going to be tough. You're going to have to push each other and figure out a way to get some W's.
For the Wolfpack, what else can you say? But it was phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's going to get any better than this. You got a 99-yarder, a 71-yarder, 256-yarder.
I think they're up for the challenge, Kyle. You just challenge them. They're up for it.
Can they get 2 99-yard runs in a game?
Time will tell. You're going to have to tune into SBS.
We'll have to find out, maybe in the playoffs. For our excellent crew, for Justin Bowles, Kara Lentz, I'm Kyle Smith, signing off for the play-by-play broadcast. Post-game interviews coming up next here on SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight, that time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marmion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics. And we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense. And Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot, and a goal! So 3-3. The power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world.
It's October 23rd, 2005. The Chicago White Sox are hosting Game 2 of the World Series against the Houston Astros. Tied 6-6 in the bottom of the ninth inning. Leadoff hitter Scott Podsednik is at the plate, and while Podsednik went to the All-Star game earlier this season, Sox manager Ozzie Guillen is definitely not anticipating a walk-off home run finish to this particular ballgame. The Sox lead 1-0 in the series, but a potential 2-0 series edge, or the game potentially going into extra innings, is just a taste of the drama both teams have experienced lately. This is just the second World Series game in Astros franchise history, and for the White Sox, last night's Game 1 win was the ball club's first World Series victory since Game 5 of the 1959 Fall Classic. Houston, meanwhile, is still looking for its first ever World Series win. Therefore, a lot is riding on this 2-1 pitch, so let's rewind. Scott Podsednik, sometimes known simply as Scotty Pods by fans of the Southsiders, is starting to become a fan favorite. The White Sox had a formidable lineup of Carlos Lee, Bagley Ordonez, Paul Konerko, and Frank Thomas going into the 2005 offseason, but after finishing in second place to those pesky Minnesota Twins in 3 consecutive seasons, general manager Ken Williams pulled off one of the biggest blockbuster trades in Chi Sox history by dumping Lee's contract to the Milwaukee Brewers and acquiring the speedster in Podsednik. Just like that, Williams dumped a 30-homer, 100 RBI guy for the relatively unknown commodity in Podsednik. The theory was Podsednik would help bring a new dimension of speed and small ball mentality to the Sox. Williams wanted to change the direction of the franchise with a speedy and up-and-coming ball player who could frustrate opposing pitching staffs on the base pass, similar to what the Twins were doing with Lou Ford, Torrey Hunter, Luis Rivas, and Christian Guzman. And Williams' bold trade turned out to be a great one. The first half of the season saw Podsednik steal 4 bases in a game on 2 different occasions, with Scotty Pods making the All-Star team as the final vote candidate. His batting average hovered around 300, and he stole 59 bases for the Sox. The trade was still good for Milwaukee, as Lee finished with a career-high 32 home runs and 114 RBI. But the Brewers missed the playoffs in 2005, while the Palehosers won just their 4th division title since playoff reformatting went into effect during the late 60s. Williams actually changed the entire White Sox lineup. Frank Thomas was out most of the 2005 regular season and postseason due to a bone fracture. Ordonez signed with the Tigers during the 05 offseason. Jermaine Dye became the everyday right fielder, and Williams brought in 30-year-old Japanese rookie Tadahito Iguchi become the everyday second baseman and 2-hole hitter. Iguchi became a key cog in the Sox lineup, with his 3-run homer in Game 2 of the ALDS against the Boston Red Sox being the climax of a very impressive 3-game sweep at the hands of the defending champions. Everything was different about this White Sox team. The mantra became win or die trying, as White Sox small ball, or Aussie ball, as was sometimes referred to in the Chicago Sun-Times and Chicago Tribune, became the team's identity. Instead of Lee cranking dingers to left field, Podsednik would steal bases, Iguchi would get him over, and Jermaine Dye or Paul Konerko would drive him in with the crucial RBI hit. However, the average baseball fan wanted to call it. The Sox overcame the odds and stopped the Twins from winning a 4th straight AL Central crown. But the White Sox actually had to go toe-for-toe, tick-for-tack with the Cleveland Guardians to see who would represent the AL Central in the playoffs. It was a crazy year for the Sox. By August 1st, the Palehosers were up 15 games on the Cleveland Guardians. Incredibly, that lead became a meager 1.5 games as the Guardians went 19-8 during the month of August. A turning point for the White Sox came on September 20th against Cleveland. Joe Creedy's walk-off home run in the bottom of the 10th increased the White Sox division lead to 3.5 games. It was a 2-win swing, and it gave the White Sox enough breathing room for them to hold for the division crown. Even more interesting, Cleveland missed out on the postseason entirely after its amazing run. The Guardians/Indians lost 6 of their last 7 games, allowing the Red Sox to sneak in as the wild card representative. It was a tough pill to swallow for Indians fans, as this team went from a 48-47 record to almost upending the Sox for the division pennant. Instead, the Indians missed out on the playoffs for yet another year, their 4th straight season without a playoff appearance. The White Sox cruised past the aforementioned Red Sox, but the ALCS was a slightly different story. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim won Game 1 in Chicago, with Podsednik and catcher A.J. Pierzynski getting caught on stolen base attempts. Game 2 was a game to remember, as it was just a 1-1 tie with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. With 2 strikes on him, Pierzynski swung at a splitter out of the strike zone. The 2005 season without a single World Series appearance. Prior to 2005, the Astros were basically major choke artists come October. In 1980, the Philadelphia Phillies won the Fall Classic, but it could have easily been Houston. Back then, the NLCS was only best of 5, and Houston led 5-2 of Game 5, entering the top of the 5th at the old Astrodome. Phillies scored 5 runs at the top
of the 7th. The Astros would tie the score at 7 with a late 2-out rally, but Gary Maddox's go-ahead RBI double in the top of the 10th became the game winner, as Houston couldn't mount another comeback after going down 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the inning. It was heartbreaking for the Stros, as they had Nolan Ryan on the mound in this do-or-die Game 5, but Ryan gave up 6 earned runs through his 7 innings of work. Philadelphia went on to win the 1980 World Series, a team which Houston had on the ropes during the National League Championship Series. Because of the 1981 player strike, there was a division series in the postseason. Houston won the second half of the year, so they got to face off against Los Angeles. The Astros won the first 2 games of the NLDS, but the 2-3 format allowed LA to host all 3 elimination games, and the Dodgers won a perfect 3-for-3 at Dodger Stadium. The Astros went ice cold to plate, as the Stros scored a mere 2 runs during all 3 games. And if you can believe it, the Dodgers went on to win the 1981 World Series. The 1986 NLCS was just as bad, if not more gut-wrenching for the Astros faithful. Mike Scott, the ace of the Astros pitching staff, was the NLCS MVP despite his team's losing effort. Dave Smith was anything but automatic as the Astros closer. Up by a run during Game 3 at Shea Stadium, gave up a 2-run digger to Lenny Dykstra, propelling the Mets to a thrilling 6-5 walk-off victory. The Astros trailed 3-2 as the series headed back to the largest city in Texas. Theoretically speaking, Scott was so dominant in the series that Houston just had to win Game 6 to allow Scott to pitch in a winner-go-home Game 7. Bob Knepper was Houston's starter in Game 6, and he pitched 8 scoreless innings, but he showed signs of fatigue during the top of the 9th, and after he gave up 2 runs in the last inning of regulation, manager Hal Lanier decided to give Smith another shot at closer. Smith just flat-out stunk most of the series. He walked the first 2 batters he saw, paving the way for Ray Knight to drive in the game-tying run on a subsequent sacrifice fly. It was a crushing collapse, as the Astros were 2 outs away from forcing Game 7 with Scott on the mound. The same Mike Scott who had an ERA of .5 and walked just 1 batter during his combined starts in Games 1 and 4. The Astros fought hard the rest of the game. After the Mets scored a run on the top of the 14th, Billy Hatcher kept his team's season alive with a game-tying homer off the left field foul pole. But it wasn't meant to be for Houston, as the Astros gave up 3 runs in the top of the 16th. The Astros scored twice in the bottom half of the inning, but bullpen arm Jesse Orasco eliminated the extra inning rally by striking out Kevin Boss with a runner on second. After all that hard work, the Astros season ended in an MLB playoff high 16 innings. For the 3rd straight time, the team who defeated the Astros in the playoffs went on to win the World Series, as the Mets defeated the Red Sox during the '86 Fall Classic. From 1987 until 2003, the Astros never got any closer to a World Series appearance, and the Astros almost relocated to Virginia, as former owner Drayton McClain seriously considered selling the team to William Collins. The Astros played in Houston after Collins couldn't get a stadium in place, and Houston voters responded positively to a stadium referendum to avoid losing the Astros, just like they lost the Oilers. The Astros saw a resurgence in the late 90s and early 2000s, but the Atlanta Braves became Houston's kryptonite, as the Braves defeated the Astros 3 times during the National League Division Series, 1997, 1999, and 2001. 3 straight division titles from 97 to 99 didn't matter, as the Astros couldn't even win 2 games during the NLDS. They avoided the sweep until 2001, but they couldn't even advance to the NLCS in 1998 with Hall of Fame pitcher Randy Johnson on the roster. The 2004 Astros were a different story. Last season's ball club eradicated a 44-44 start to the year by going 46-26 down the stretch to win the NL wildcard. The Stros had to play against the Braves, but unlike the Larry Dierker-led squads, the Phil Garner-led Astros won the do-or-die Game 5 to advance to their first NLCS since 1986. While the Astros fought hard, losing the NL Central Division to the St. Louis Cardinals did in Houston, as the Cardinals won Game 7 at Busch Stadium. Even more soul-crushing, Houston led 3-2 in the series, but they lost both games in St. Louis, including a demoralizing 6-4 loss in 12 innings during Game 6. The Astros entered the 2005 season with high hopes, and even though Carlos Beltran signed as a free agent with the Mets, Houston still had the killer bees of Craig Biggio, Lance Berkman, and Jeff Bagwell in the heart of its batting order. A 15-30 start to the year worried Astros fans, but after a 22-7 record in July, the Stros were back on track to clinching another wild-card berth. The Astros barely hung on to win the wild card, as they had to win on the last day of the season to hold off Charlie Manuel's Phillies. As if the baseball gods love it being Astros versus Braves, the Astros had to once again play the Braves through the 2005 NLDS. And like last season, the Astros began a new tradition of eliminating the Braves in the division series. This time around, it was a 4-game elimination as Chris Burke had a walk-off solo shot in the bottom of the 18th to send the Astros back to the NLCS against St. Louis. It was the longest game in MLB postseason history. Looking for revenge against the Redbirds, the Astros won games 2 through 4 and almost won the pennant at Minute Maid Park, but Albert Pujols cranked a 3-run bomb from the arm of Brad Lidge, and the Astros had to win their first National League pennant on the road. Some analysts consider that home run to still be on the mind of Lidge going into the World Series.
It would have been nice to get Lidge in the game in Game 6 in St. Louis in the NLCS to get that taste out of his mouth from the Pujols home run. I don't think that taste is there.
Then again, Lidge was basically unhittable during most of the playoffs. There's no way Podsednik, who didn't hit a homer during the regular season, could hit a dinger against the All-Star closer, right? And of all the people to give up a home run to Podsednik, Lidge would definitely be at the bottom of the list according to gamblers' odds. And for Lidge to even be in the spot is unbelievable. Remember, the Astros were down to their last out in the top of the 9th, but Jose Vizcaino put his name in baseball history by drilling a 2-out, 2-run single to left field to tie the score at 6. Perhaps Bobby Jenks was dead tired after having to get a 4-out save last night. Jenks inevitably blew the saves, but the Sox obtained its fair share of breaks earlier in the game to even be in that spot. The first such break occurred at the bottom of the 2nd inning. This ball should have been caught by Hall of Fame second baseman Biggio, but he somehow dropped the fly ball, allowing Brzezinski to score the go-ahead run. With 2 runners on base in the bottom of the 7th, home plate umpire Jeff Nelson determined that Dan Wheeler's fastball hit the batting glove of Jermaine Dye. Once again, instant replay verified that Nelson made the wrong call, as it sure seemed like the baseball hit the knob of the bat instead of hitting Dye. Garner was practically forced to go to the bullpen, and with the bases now loaded, he called upon Chad Qualls to try and jam the next hitter. Dye's hit by a pitch brought Konerko to the plate, and he capitalized on the first pitch with a 4-run 4-bagger to give Chicago its first lead since the 2nd inning. The breaks are seemingly going Chicago's way, but the Astros have fought hard to be in the position they're in right now. While he performed poorly during the last round, Lidge had a perfect 0 ERA during the 2004 NLCS and 2005 NLDS. He pitched 12 perfect innings during those rounds combined. During the 2004 regular season, he even received votes for the Cy Young Award. He's been very good in 2005, but his wins above replacement mark dropped significantly from 3.8 to now barely above 2. And to reiterate,
And here's a drive deep right field. This is going to go. That's the first home run he has hit this season.
Podsednik's lone homer of the season came during Game 1 of the 2005 ALDS against the Red Sox, a home run that didn't even factor into the game's final result. It was all intents purposes a meaningless homer. But Scotty Pods crushed a career-high 12 dingers last season for the Brew Crew, so the power is somewhat there for Podsednik. Will Lidge's mind be on straight, or will he be second-guessing himself after what happened to him in Houston against Pujols? Meaning, could Lidge accidentally leave a juicy fastball right in Podsednik's wheelhouse? Can Podsednik do what Konerko did 2 innings ago? Or will he try to do what he normally does and get a hit within the constraints of the ballpark? Podsednik is ahead in the count 2-1 with 2005 All-Star closer Lidge on the mound. Welcome to a moment in history.
The 2-1. A swing and a high fly ball. Deep right center field. This is way back in the gap. And it's a gunner! A White Sox winner! A winner on a Podsednik home run! And the White Sox go up 2-0 in the 2005 World Series.
The White Sox went on to win Games 3 and 4 to record its first ever World Series sweep and its first World Series title since 2007. Houston would not win a World Series game and subsequent title until 2017. Thanks for watching this Rewinder video. Make sure to subscribe below to never miss the action of Sports Broadcast Solutions.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
It's very nice to meet you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Ready?
Welcome to the post-game show sponsored by Sports Broadcast Solutions. I'm Carol Luntz along with the victorious Jake Petro. A decisive victory today for St. Ignatius, 35-zip. But this is a game that really started in the first quarter. How was the momentum started and where were you able to perform today?
Really, momentum started earlier in this week. I know that's doesn't really make sense, but that's just because we were so prepared just with our coaches, really prepared us with what they're going to come out in with their defensive fronts and what they're going to do. And because we've played them multiple times, so I mean we know this team really well and they know us well. So we just really had to come out here, execute. And from the first snap, I mean I knew, it was the same fronts that they were showing the whole week on film. So I knew they were doing that. We felt comfortable. We just executed. We went out there.
Yeah, I mean, some big plays too, some major yardage. And how were you able to see that open field and what allowed you to get into the attacking part?
Open field, just trust my reads, trust my blocks, and hit that hole as hard as I can and hope that, I'm the fastest one out there and they're not going to catch me. So.
You look at the complete team effort recently over the past two games, St. Lawrence and then today. Where is this team at in regards to confidence as you close out Game 4? But especially when you look at what's coming up, Mount Carmel next weekend, and you're on the road for 3 games. Where's the team sense right now in confidence?
Yeah, confidence has definitely skyrocketed from that first loss to that second, building on it. And then just kept building and building and building. And now, we're at this position. We defense played great tonight. You didn't give up a single point. We put up 35 on offense. And our confidence is just skyrocketed. And we're going to keep that, but keep it calm and prepare the best that we can for Carmel. So it's a big game, but we can do it. And this game tonight really helped and really showed that we have that potential. We all knew it. We just had to show it.
When you look at this, the offense, you're one cog in the wheel, and you have fantastic backs around you, and even some of your linemen allowing you to find those holes. How would you define the characteristic of this offense and what they can do this season?
Characteristic of this offense, I would say, is just grit. Just grind it out every play and do your job, as our coaches always say. They always harp on us, and it's just really just do your job, do what they coach us to do, and it's going to get done. This offense, I mean, it's not really like the flashiest or all me offense. This is a very team oriented offense. So I would say the big theme of this is do your job, stay gritty.
Thanks, Jake. We appreciate the time.
Thank you. Have a good one.
We'll be back with more.